Look at that. I've gone live with the wrong screen. You're not supposed to be looking at us yet. You're supposed to be seeing the intro, which is running now. Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG review show. Whoop, whoop. Let me just take Sean off of mute. There we go.
Did you force mute him?
I force muted him, yeah, because he didn't mute.
Sorry.
Oh, look, Tabby's.
I do have a
There you go. There you go. Unmuted Tabby.
Doesn't matter.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, my normal slick beginning
Tabby's on
to
the
a live
Rattlers.
stream. Oh yes, Tabby.
No.
Oh.
Today it's this is inspired by my toddlers. Sparkling water and a popsicle.
Wow, that's
Nice.
an interesting concept. That yes,
But it is very good.
it's good. Yeah, nice. Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. We're back consigning another episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation to the vault. With this week's episode being Devil's Due from season 4. I'm joined, as always, by my co-hosts, Maz and McBob. Good evening, Maz.
Hi.
Tavykins Turner. Good evening, Tavi.
Cheers.
Cheers. And Chief Sean. Good evening, Chief.
Evening.
Cheers,
Evening.
cheers.
Ching, ching. Tonight, I do have some blood wine. I am prepared.
I have a Rioja.
It's a French Pays d'Oc.
Oh, you've got the Cavalier. Oh my god.
The Cavalier from your in-laws.
So nice. It's so smooth.
It's very, very nice, I have to say.
It is, isn't it? I had that in my my red wine what do you call it, advent calendar last year,
Oh,
Nice.
and it is really nice. So I bought myself a few bottles, but yeah, it's very, very nice wine. I've got a Rioja 2017, so a little vintagey. Nice.
I see Lieutenant Tavykins there and Chief Sean have got their green screens this week. So they're looking fantastic, I have to say. Look at this, though. How professional does this setup look now? I tell you, every week it gets a little
I think I need
better.
to get a little horror earpiece and be done with it properly.
I'm not gonna have to
Modern
buy a
gaming headset
green
isn't quite the
screen.
look.
Mm,
I'm kind of letting this
Yeah.
side down.
yeah.
Oh, the green screen's a good bit of fun though.
Good evening to live chat. Good evening to Ruth. Thank you for coming and joining us tonight. And Andrew. Hello, Andrew. I hope all is well in your world. And
Andrew said, "Wow, what a brilliant intro!" Is that the first time
Oh,
you've
it's
seen
the
it, Andrew? Because I know you were on holiday in Italy for a few weeks, and then I think you were working for a few weeks.
yeah,
But yeah, be good to hear what you think of it.
we're improving all the time. I've just got to add Sean onto it. I haven't got Sean's name on there yet, so I didn't have a chance to do that today. But I was going to today, but I didn't have a chance. So maybe next week, Sean.
Yeah, no panic.
Yeah, we'll add you. We'll add you on. And good evening, Stu Plum, as well. I know we've got some absentees this evening,
Good
like Karen. Karen's not going to be on this evening. And my wrench. Don't have any wrench this evening, so I'll have to keep an eye on you, rowdy bunch out there. She'll be along a little bit later on, but
And Sean said, "Evening, Ruth, Tom, et al." Who's Tom?
Tom,
Oh, that's my fault. Sorry.
he's seeing people now in chat.
So there's a stadium here where I live called Semple Stadium, which is also known as Tom Semple Field. And I saw Andrew Semple, and I was thinking of the stadium, and I got
Tom
completely
Semple.
muddled.
With
So
ya.
that's what I was thinking of. So brain went from Andrew Semple to Semple Stadium to Tom Semple's Field. Just don't ask me.
Classic.
It's what happens when you start spending all your spare time in the holodeck, Chief. You
Yeah,
know?
change the scenery. Hold on, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Andrew says he's having coffee, staying off the booze. So yeah, we're not setting a
what
very
about
good.
that guy?
Ah,
Yes.
he's starting every episode with a song. Yeah.
What about those? Can you read all that?
Fully functional.
I approve. I approve.
In every way.
In every way.
No, the chief belongs in one place. We go one place. Sorry. All right, there we go.
I
That's what
actually
it
did.
transport a room 3, right?
That is. I don't think it is.
Oh. Andrew feels privileged to have a stadium named after him.
Quite decent one too.
Oh, very nice. Very good. Right. Okay, then. Yeah. So that's the introductions to everyone. Let's get on with Devil's Due then. So it is the 13th episode of Season 4. That's what we're here to talk about this evening. Production number 40274-187. It first aired on the 4th of February 1991 and is the 86th episode to be both produced and released. The teleplay was by Philip Lasbenick. Lasbenick? Lasbenick?
That'll do.
Yeah. And he also did the story with William Douglas Lansford. This is the first of 2 episodes written by Philip Lasbenick. The other one being Darmok. So the guy that wrote this wrote Darmok.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I think he got that script in a blender with Darmok. It started out making sense, and they just got jumbled.
He's also a co-writer of the Disney films Pocahontas and Mulan.
Oh, nice.
The guy who wrote it with...
And Pocahontas famously starred.
Sorry? What?
Wait, no, sorry. I got mixed up with something. Doesn't matter. I thought Whoopi Goldberg was in it. She wasn't.
No. No.
Yeah, you don't want to know. Long story. So go on anyway.
I want
Wait,
to know
then who
now,
was playing
Sean.
the tree? Who was playing the tree?
Oh, what was that Whoopi Goldberg?
I don't know.
Sorry,
Okay, let's
how I
not
got
get distracted.
stuck on it is they sung a song called "The Color of the Wind," and then at the Oscars, and then Whoopi came out and go, "I'd love for you all to see the color of my wind," and that just stuck in my head, and somehow that got my head she was in it.
Oh dear, that is crass.
Yeah, don't ask me how my brain works. I make these connections. They just do.
I'm now quickly scanning through Whoopi Goldberg's IMDb.
Wouldn't it have been easier for you to look
Oh
up
no,
Pocahontas?
it was Linda Hunt.
I suppose it could have been.
The girl who
She was in The Lion King.
she was, yeah. But the girl who played young Whoopi, who played, in Rascals, also played the young sister act Whoopi Goldberg as well. But
Oh.
yeah, the same actress played the young version of Whoopi in both those roles. No, we haven't even got 2 minutes into this, and I've completely taken
You
off topic.
completely
Sorry.
derailed. You completely derailed us. I don't think so. I can't see. No, I can't see any reference to that. I'm afraid. But
Your natural talent,
it
Sean.
was a nice idea anyway, Sean. It was a
Yeah,
nice
we'll get there one of these days.
the guy Philip Lazenbnick.
I think it's Lazubnik.
Lazenbnick. Wrote it with William Douglas Lansford. This is the only episode he actually wrote for TNG. But he did work on Fantasy Island. He was a prolific writer on Fantasy Island in the 70s, which starred Ricardo Montalban, which was which was his name that inspired my handle, Montalban. So there you go.
Very cool.
This episode was directed by Tom Benko. This is the second episode he directed, the last one being Transfigurations. It's the only 2 episodes he directed, but he was a editor for 40 TNG episodes. So a prolific editor and 2 times director. There we go. Right, who wants to see the trailer again? For those who didn't see it last week, who wants to see the trailer?
Sure, may as well.
I would like
Yes,
to.
please.
Yes, let's do that. Let me find the...
Good John says Linda Hunt played Grandmother Willow. Is that in
Yeah, that's Pocahontas. Yeah.
Pocahontas? Oh, don't know it well enough.
From the gates of hell comes the ultimate evil.
I love the back to the 80s music.
A demonic
Yeah,
power terrorizes a peaceful planet.
Sounds like a different type of
These
film,
people
but
are
anyway.
all convinced that their world is coming to an end.
And a deadly game of seduction could steal Picard's soul.
I can do anything for you, Captain.
Ooh, Diana.
He's in danger here.
Enterprise, come in.
Your ship is gone, Captain.
Duel with the Devil on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah,
Good trailer.
it's a good trailer. It makes it seem really exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
People zipping out and zipping in, and the Enterprise disappearing, and Deanna Troy being all
Deadly
sexy towards
seduction.
Picard.
Worf getting his ass kicked.
Yeah,
Yeah, again.
again as per normal. Yeah,
Poor Worf.
poor Worf.
Well, there's a great video of Worf just getting beaten up, like over and over again, and just like a little 6-stone jockey of a woman just like flipping him over, and because anytime someone comes onto the bridge and they want to make him look like the person coming onto the bridge is a threat, they just throw Worf across the room, and then they go, "Oh, he must be a threat," but it happens in basically every episode. It happens in the next episode, actually, funnily enough. But anyway, we move on. Spoilers.
Spoilers. Okay, so teaser. We open up with in the Blu-ray HD version, a really blurry shot of the Enterprise passing by.
Yeah, it looks like the ambassador there.
Yeah. Apparently, when they Blu-rayed it, HDified it, they couldn't find this shot, so
Yeah, they just left the old one in.
they
Yeah.
left the old one in, and it looks really blurry. So we're in the holodeck. The episode opens up with us in the holodeck, and Tavikin's favourite, Data.
This is the first time I found his character unappealing. I was like, oh.
As Ebenezer Scrooge. So he's
The
performing a
nightcap
scene.
doesn't do it for you.
No. He's performing a scene from Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, acting the role of Ebenezer Scrooge. It's a scene where he's talking to the ghost of Jacob Marley, saying, "There's more gravy than grave about you. Humbug, I tell you." And Picard, who's watching off to one side, pauses the program and congratulates Data on his performance. But straight into question number one. So we see Picard, critiquing his performance in the holodeck, acting in this scene. But what episode was the last time we saw Picard critique Data's acting? What was the last episode where we saw Data critique Picard critique of Data's acting? Was it A, the enemy, B, the price, C, the vengeance factor, or D, the defector? The enemy, the price, the vengeance factor, or the defector?
I have honestly no idea.
I was going to guess the Martin snare, but anyway. Okay, I don't know the answer to that, but I do know Marley and Ebenezer Scrooge are based on a real person, and that real person is like the great-great-granduncle of Bob Marley, which is completely useless information, but there you go.
I just
There
thought.
you go.
You are the chief.
I just thought.
I was
my wrench isn't
looking
here,
up.
I
I
better put
was
the question
looking
in
up
chat.
for a few facts to see could I find something interesting for the show, and I came across that one.
Woo! G-Star in the house.
Oh,
That is
G-Man.
G-Star.
The
Whooping
G-Man.
out.
The G-Man
Filling
is
in
in.
the Smiler.
Sometime
the star.
co-host. Yeah, so I put the question in there with Smiler not being around. Sorry, it's not formatted very well, but hopefully you can read it. That is the.
Oh wait, no, that's not G-Star. That's you.
That's me. Sorry, the Vault. Yeah, that's me. Sorry, I'm in as the Vault.
Okay.
There we go.
So
Yeah.
I thought I was missing something then because I couldn't see him.
No, I was waiting. I was looking at chat, waiting for G-Star to come up because for
I
me
just took your word for it, but anyway,
it's
sorry.
delayed. But no, unfortunately not. No. Okay. Just out of interest, in this scene, here is the ghost of Bob Marley. You got me on it now.
Jacob Marley.
Jacob Marley.
Although in the Muppets Christmas Carol they turned Statler and Waldorf into Marley or Marley, and it's Jacob and Robert Marley,
Or Bob.
and they have they have these cash boxes and they're wailing. So the cash boxes are the whalers. So you've got Bob Marley and the whalers in it.
Ah, very good.
So again, not Star Trek knowledge, but completely off tangent. And we move on.
Yeah. So just to say, with the they redid this effect for the HD version, and it's a lot less blurry. You can see the ghost a lot better in the HD version. Yeah.
Looks more
On
like
my
he's holding
screen,
the
it almost
chains.
looks like he's got a skull.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
weird.
it does a bit. Yeah. But I was more thinking it looks like he's holding the chains as opposed to him being chained up. He could just drop them and get on with his day.
Get on with it, yeah.
That's exactly how that works.
Who was Scrooge in the Muppets Christmas Carol then?
Michael Caine,
That was it, Michael Caine. Yes.
and not a lot of people know that.
Not a lot of people know that. Yeah. Don't you think, looking at the Picard's critiquing his performance here? Look at those two noses. Couldn't it be father and son if it wasn't?
I know. I just love those schnozzes. See,
Actually,
now that
Brent-
he's not making that face, he looks good again.
I don't know if you've ever seen a video of it, but Brent does a fantastic Patrick Stewart impression. Just
Oh, really?
spot on. There's videos of him doing it at conventions. You might find perhaps, and just brings the house down when he does it.
Oh well, we might have a look. I'll have a look for one of them in a minute. Yeah, we'll have a
You
look.
don't have to. Just such a thing exists. If they're out there, they're great.
Well, I might have a little Google of that in a minute, or when we're in the middle of something else. But
Fair enough.
yeah. Okay, so Data tells Picard he is using the philosophies of Stanislavski, Adler, and Garnoff, proponents of an acting technique known as the method. Picard thinks method acting is a bit old-fashioned, but Data has modified the method acting principles for his own purposes. He's like reverse engineering it. So instead of invoking feeling to get to a character, he's hoping that by acting the character is going to help him teach him the feeling. So I thought that's quite an interesting use of method acting by Data there. Bless him. He doesn't feel a complete tit walking around the Enterprise in that outfit, even though he's the third in command. So
Benefit of having no feelings.
good
Can
for
you
him.
imagine? He does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the chick in the background looked like she is going down the catwalk. Look at the pop in that hip. She knows because that's Commander Data in that hallway. You better get it right, girl.
Yeah. She's working it.
Well, I think with the advent of holodecks, cosplaying just became normalized by the 24th century. It's just more common to do it.
Mm.
And it's effectively
It
what
would
he's
be
doing.
very difficult. It would be very difficult sometimes to notice if something's a bit off if on any given day people in the hallway are just dressed up either like furries or some sort of odd character. It's like at what point do you recognize, wait, that's an alien and that is out of place?
Well, isn't it in generations? They're all in their like their Bristol fashion best. All their 18th century sailing gear from
Mm.
the British
Yeah.
Navy, and they all go onto
HMS
the
Enterprise.
bridge.
Yeah.
The HMS Pinafore
Oh,
production kind of
yeah.
dress, and then they
Yeah.
just go onto the bridge. Like, you imagine you're meeting the Klingons and you're all dressed like you're coming off, a sailing ship from the 17th century. It's like, oh, hi guys.
I'm
they just
still
get
in
on with it. It's so
uniform.
normal to them.
I think Picard even like takes his hat off and puts it under his arm, doesn't he?
Yeah, just to keep it together. I love it.
Okay, so yeah, they're walking down the corridor, and Picard remarks that Data's creation of his own interpretation for the role, instead of duplicating other actors' performances, has brought him closer to understanding humanity, which is nice. It's nice for him. On the bridge, they've received an emergency call from Ventax 2. Dr. Howard Clark reports that the planet is in chaos and the population is in the grip of some sort of mass hysteria. Brexit? I don't know.
I'm on the bridge now. Have to be in position.
Oh, yeah. There you go. There he is. Dr. Howard Clark. They all believe the world's coming to an end. Brexit. Yeah. The transmission ends abruptly, and that's the
They've
end
been
of the
listening to
teaser.
Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Something about contrails.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh my God, contrails. Yeah. So that's the end. That's the end of the teaser. There. Yeah. Does any?
So,
What have you got for us, Maz?
just some, early sort of story and script kind of background stuff. So this was a long time in the making, this script. So it was originally part of a proposal from the original 1960s series.
It shows.
And then-
It shows.
Yeah, it was phase 2, I think, was it?
And then it was reconceived
Yeah,
and possibly
both.
going to be a phase 2 story. And obviously then they decided to earmark it for potential use in Next Generation. But originally what it was going to be was there was this sort of mind or a psychic entity who was one of the ancient people from the planet from 1,000 years ago who was controlling it all. But as they went through the rewrite, they decided to turn this into a current living female con artist, which was a really good change to the script. So everybody agreed. And originally they asked Melinda Snodgrass to do like a little bit of a rewrite, just to sort of tweak it here and there to make it good to go. But it actually went through quite a few revisions. Ended up having Pillar, Snodgrass, Lezebnik, William Douglas Lansford, Lee Sheldon, Larry Carroll, David Bennett Karen. It just had loads of people working on it. So it got a lot of refinement and was generally received as being, quite a good comedy episode. The only other thing I was going to add at this early stage was the devil's due as a phrase comes from Shakespearean line, or is paraphrased from Shakespeare, which was, "The devil shall have his bargain, for he was never yet a breaker of proverbs. He will he will give the devil his due." So yeah, it's to do with bargains and such like.
Yeah,
So
Faustian deals, yeah.
it's from Henry IV.
And so, going to the answer for question 1,
Most people said D.
most people said D. Oh, that's good. Have we got any data facts this evening, by the way? Yeah.
I
I'll
did
try and
pop one in there already, but
Oh, did I miss it?
I
Yes.
missed it too.
I gotta go find it now.
I was just
I
gonna say
didn't
that
see it.
actor was in Star Trek another time, but I did look it up and now I've forgotten.
Oh yes, he was. He's called Paul something or another. Let me just check. Paul Lambert. He was also in When the Bow Breaks, you know, the one where the children from
take
the
the
Enterprise were
children.
stolen.
Yeah.
And he was the one who got the little
The li-
girl where he
yeah.
was a musician and she was a little musician. She's playing a song and he says,
All right.
"Can't you play something happy?" And she went, "I don't feel happy."
No.
Ah, that's where you're from. Very good.
He died in the mid-90s, not long after this episode. I think it's like the third to
Well,
last thing he was
he
in.
was well into his 70s, I think, at that stage. But so yeah,
Yeah,
not
it was
surprised.
97. So, yeah, April 27th. So, yeah, it was a couple of years out, a few years after, but yeah, not long.
But he was like in everything in the 80s, like the A-Team, Knight Rider, you know, the Fall Guy,
Nice.
you know, everything. You name a series,
classics.
and that guy was in it. You know, he's just one of those character actors that
Murder,
was,
She Wrote.
no doubt, no doubt. Magnum PI. I looked through the 60s.
Play the mustache.
Yeah, I looked through the 60s, and he was a lot of things, but he wasn't in the original Star Trek, unfortunately. He was in things like The Outer Limits and yeah, all sorts of things.
Ruth says Picard in his pants is always great comedy.
Oh, it is.
we
No.
do get, you know, Picard in his 90 today, and it's
Yeah,
a shame.
you do, yeah.
Shame Kaz isn't on.
Kaz is gonna miss
this
that
is
one.
quite
I
a
was waiting for Kaz on
Picard-centric
today.
episode with some bedroom scenes. She'd have loved that.
Yeah.
No,
I
no,
thought she
no
was gonna be
points.
all over this one.
No points for this. But who has? If anyone can tell me, you get, you know, my respect. Who has the longest period of time between their first and most recent appearance in all of Star Trek? And
Was-
the first appearance is quite recent, and the original appearance is all the way back at the start. TOS. I'll tell you that much.
You say quite recent.
Yeah, last 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
His niece likes to hang out with dinosaurs. His brother's a director, who was also in Happy Days.
Oh, Ron Howard.
His brother,
His
Clint Howard.
brother. Oh, right, Clint Howard. Was
He
he
played
recent?
Baylock in the. He played Baylock in the original series,
right.
and he played an Andorian in Discovery. He was also in Enterprise, and he was in Deep Space Nine.
I didn't know that. Didn't know that.
Yeah, do you know the guy in DS9 who goes, "Whoosh, I'm invisible"? Yeah, him.
Right. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean.
Sorry
So,
about that.
answer to question one. Was D. So, well done to all those people that said D. Sorry, Ruth. Sorry, Stu Plum.
Was that 20 points?
It was 20 points. I'll give you a 10-point bonus, though, if you can tell me the play that Data was performing in The Defector.
Oh no, I can't remember it.
Is anybody... Is it a time-limited
think I know,
one?
I think-
So if anybody can
Oh, dear
quickly tell
God.
me.
Andrew should know
Hold
because he
on,
said
hold
he
on, hold on.
memorized that Shakespeare script, so he should know.
Oh,
I just typed it in, but it disappeared. Oh my god! Can I just say it?
yeah, it came to me. But,
It's not
Did
Tempest.
it not go in?
no, actually,
No.
No,
honest to
No.
God, I didn't read that. That
wasn't
independently
Macbeth.
came to me.
Wasn't Macbeth. Wasn't
the Scottish play.
Tempest. No, it wasn't the Scottish
Don't
play.
curse us.
I'm not.
Come on, Andrew. I thought you'd have known this one.
God, what was he? Mary's Wise Winder?
Is anybody
No.
going to take the 10 points? Or
I don't
should I tell you?
know.
It wasn't Merchants of Venice. It wasn't
No.
Macbeth. It wasn't.
No.
I don't know.
It was.
Hamlet. No, it wasn't Hamlet.
Oh
Was it
no,
Hamlet?
no, it wasn't Hamlet. No.
although Patrick Stewart did perform in Hamlet with David Tennant. so
Andrew,
that's,
Henry V.
Oh, I was about to say it
10
wasn't Henry,
points
Henry
to
the Fourth
Andrew.
again, was it?
It's
Close.
Henry V. Well done,
Well
Andrew.
done, Andrew.
There we go. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done.
Did you look
Congratulations.
that up, Andrew?
How dare you suggest such a thing, Terry? There we go. Nice shot of the D arriving at Ventax 2. Again, with
It's a
the
purple planet.
with the Blu-rays.
This-
Brand
this
new
one
planet.
this one always annoys me when like the home world is called Ventax 2. Nobody would ever call their planet Ventax 2. Just, you can assume it's something the Universal Translator does, but it's just like, yeah, that always just brings me out of it a little bit.
Yeah, well, we call Germany Germany, but Germans don't call it Germany.
Yeah, we don't call our planet Sol 3. You know, we call it Earth. You know, we have a name for it.
I know, but if a Federation came here from outside the solar system,
Yeah, we'd have to call it Sol 3.
they'd
yeah.
probably call it Sol 3. I
Mm.
don't know. People that are indigenous to a place generally call their thing something different to what other people call it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, I suppose, as you said, in Deutschland, Germany, etc.
Yeah.
Okay, fair point.
Okay, so yeah, it's a new planet, obviously for the Blu-ray. The previous one was more blue. They decided to give it a purple hue. It looks pretty cool.
Andrew says that he's got a degree in performance art, so that's how he knew about.
Wow.
Which is the same as G-Star.
Yeah.
A couple of thespians together.
Yeah.
And I did not do it for the leaving cert, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yep, so here we are. The D's arrived at Vantax 2 to find a research station under siege from an angry mob. They try to beam the science team aboard, but they only manage to get Dr. Clark. We go into the ready room. Oh, let me just check. I'm going to put this in the right place. Come on. This is a good picture. So this is the closest up shot we ever get of Picard's fish. But, question 2,
Really?
what is the name of Picard's fish? Is it A, Benson, B, Mason, C, Livingston, or D, William? Benson, Mason, Livingston, or William? So,
I don't know for certain. I made a guess, but I will tell you something about that fish. In the episode, I forget the name, where Barclay actually it might be Transfigurations. Barclay turns into a spider, and all the ship de-evolve, whatever episode that is. You can't really
Genesis.
see it, but Genesis. They basically the fish reverts to like a jellyfish or something. It's not the same fish, so it actually changes in the episode.
Yeah, and Riker tries to eat it. Riker tries to break into
smashing on it, trying to get into it.
He's smashing on the fish bowl, trying to eat.
They actually change out the fish to show it changed as well, which is a nice touch.
Yeah.
Cool.
Interestingly, or not, this is the closest ever shot we get of Picard's fish, but in this shot, it's the wrong fish. In this shot, it's a radial firefish. And in every other shot of this fish we get throughout the whole of the TNG run, it's a red lionfish. So, for whatever reason, when they decided to put this shot together, they couldn't get a red lionfish, so they got the next best thing, a radial firefish. So,
I'd say
They look similar.
Yeah.
they look similar-ish, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's got a big, it's big and fluffy.
Big
I
and
suppose, if you want to
spiky
call
and
it.
stripy,
Yeah,
but completely different fish in the end of the day.
yeah. Well, other than the fact that they're
Beautiful.
But
It's poisonous as a lionfish.
Yeah, I think they are both poisonous. The lionfish is very poisonous. Yeah, but it's just ironic that for the one close up shot they ever have of this fish, it's the wrong fish.
It sounds very TNG, actually.
when they were doing Best of Both Worlds, there's a line where all the two enterprises in the ship that Crusher's in charge have all come together and say the three enterprises are all focusing their beams. And I went through all the production and stuff, and one of the guys that was producing the show brought it home to their daughter, who was like 10 years old. They go, but it's not three enterprises. And like they'd gone through like 50 or 60 or 100 people that had seen it. And this is the Best of Both Worlds, the final episode of the show, and it took a 10-year-old to notice it. And at that point, it was too expensive, so they never changed it. So that error is forever in the episode.
Yeah, we'll spot that one. Interestingly, as well, not that interesting, this is the 13th episode of season 4, which means this is the exact halfway point
Ooh.
Nice.
of the entire TNG run. So we've got to the halfway point. This is it.
No,
Yeah,
it's all
Or
downhill.
it's
downhill.
downhill. It's downhill to the end now. Yeah. And
No, it just means we're getting that bit closer to starting Deep Space Nine. Whoop, whoop.
that's true. That's true.
I do like the L9ers. Have to get myself a
is
Niners
great.
hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Death to the opposition.
Okay, so Picard meets Dr. Clark. We discussed Paul Lambert earlier in the ready room, and the doctor tells him how Vantax 2 has been an agrarian society up to now. They have been technically advanced a millennia ago, but reverted to a simpler existence. Their head of state has become obsessed with the legend of Ardra, who, according to legend, made a deal with the Ventraxians to bring 1,000 years of peace. She's now come back to reclaim the planet and enslave the population. They believe they have sold their souls to the devil. But question 3, yes, we have 2 questions in this act.
Holy cow.
I didn't mean to do this, and I've forgotten the question in Act 5. So we've still got the same number of questions. I've just distributed them accidentally, slightly differently. But anyway, we're going to go with it. Question 3. What was the name of the leader of the Ventaxians? Was it A, Accost Jared? Was it B, Accost Wadi? Was it C, Accost Nirian? Or was it D, Accost Pendari? Jared, Wadi, Nirian, or Pendari? A, B, C, or D? Sorry, I didn't put the last question in chat, but I will quickly do that one for you all. There we go.
Also, that shot, just while you're doing that, that shot just shows the big painting of the Enterprise that you almost never see. And also under it, there's like a pull-out bed / couch thing that you also never see, but and weirdly it's folded up because it's very rare. Well, it looks like it's folded up because it's very rare. It is actually folded into the wall. Usually it's out as a couch, but in that shot it's not for some reason.
Oh, they had space saving.
Yeah, because it just pulls out into a couch, but it can also, like, you know, you can sleep on it if you have to, because sometimes the captain needs to be just beside the bridge. So
yeah, sometimes you see him laying on the couch, just when someone walks in. I think that's happened once.
Monty Ban, on the first question,
Yes.
which letter was Livingstone?
C.
C.
Yes.
Thank
you. Sorry, have you not answered yet? And you're
No, it's just that Andrew answered Livingstone, and I wasn't sure which letter that was.
Ah, yeah, that's C. Yes.
Cool.
Okay. So, Riker comes over comms to say that their people are being held hostage. So they go to the bridge to talk to the leader. Got a long way to walk. Outside the door, they go. And there they are. Like we saw last episode, they got this sort of like good over-the-shoulder view of the view screen this season, which makes the 3D view screen look more right than the side-on view, I think.
You can also see the studio lights in the back of Picard's head there again.
Yeah.
He always gives away the studio lights.
Yeah, they look slightly pinky purple, don't they? Which I took a hint of because I like to have a pinky purple light in my room.
Nowadays they've got LEDs and they can change them to any color they want, and they can fine tune them. But back in the day, they were bulbs. Also, that actor who plays Accost, whatever it is, he's in Picard. Randomly, he's I've again doing research earlier. So he in the scene in Picard where they go into that that clinic and the ICE raided to get all the immigrants.
Yeah,
he's the guy in the wheelchair.
Ah, right.
He's one line which he says in Spanish, which I've already forgotten what it was, but he's actually in Picard, so he reappears.
That is awesome. What
is it? I don't.
There's a guy in a wheelchair and they have to kind of rush him out the door, and there's a real
yeah.
And that's why what's his name, the guy with all the holograms, his name's not coming to me, but you know the guy.
My problem is I
Rios.
don't care about Picard.
Rios.
The series.
Anyway, Rios goes out to distract everyone so the guy in the wheelchair can get out. He's the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, he says it's out of his control. They've had tremors throughout the city, and Ardra has appeared in all their visions. Picard tries to negotiate the prisoner's release in return for Federation support should Ardra return, but it's rejected by the leader, who says he will see to it, or he see what he can do in getting the prisoners or hostages released. In the ready room, not ready room. It's not the ready room, is it? What kind of
Observation
in the
lounge.
observation lounge. The senior staff discuss the situation. Look at Wolf there in the back. Whenever you see a shot of the
Hold on,
senior
we'll move to the
staff,
observation lounge. There we are.
there we go. Yeah, thank you. Whenever you see a shot of them discussing things in the observation lounge, Worf always looks really cheesed off in the background.
I also
Yeah.
hate when you can see the plastic office chair bases of the chairs. It just takes when you can't see them.
with
It's
the
fine. When you see
casters.
the base, when you see the casters, you do on the 5-point modern office chairs. You just go, yeah, those are just office chairs.
Well, maybe it's just a classic. It's a classic design. They wanted that classic 21st
Yeah, for them
century.
it's like an ancient retro look.
Yeah, it's just
Not retro,
Picard's way.
ancient.
Yeah.
20th even, but yeah, that just it always kind of puts me out of it when I see it.
Yeah. So the senior staff discussing the situation. Data gives an overview of the legend of Ardra, and Dr. Clark mentions the ancient scrolls. Picard decides to beam down and talk to the leader himself. Worf protests, but Picard tells him that he and Data will accompany him to see that he is safe. He tells the counselor she's coming as well. The awaiting beam down, meet the leaders. Oh, it's an interesting split shot. Before
That
you
shot
see
has been used 1,000 times. It's used for all sorts of planets, and yeah, I think it's even used for the Accompa City in Voyager. Even it's still being used.
You sure about that?
Fairly sure they've used that a good few times. Also, there's kind of a weird optical illusion. It looks like there's a giant a pit, but they're actually kind of like little fin things that are coming up.
Yeah, it's actually solid wall. Yeah.
It's like a supporting buttress, but it looks like there's a giant hole in front of you, but that's not what it is.
This here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a big fin. It's like a buttress, It's
Oh
holding
yeah,
up
this.
the bridge.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's a deep hole just because it's a dark color.
Yes. Yeah. They actually really lightened this for the Blu-ray. It was a lot darker.
Yeah,
than this
I think that the map they've changed like the pyramids and everything around it, but the people walking on that bridge, I think they use it a few times.
Interestingly, I thought like you when I watched it with Smile a Rainbow. I was like, oh, they've used this matte painting in loads of other episodes. Can't find any evidence of that anywhere.
No, okay.
I can only find it in this scene. There are similar
All right.
ones with similar looking pyramids to that, but not this particular matte painting.
I was thinking more just the bridge part, and then the map painting was kind of painted around it, that the bridge was reused. That's what I was thinking.
The bridge might be, but I don't think this matte painting's used in any other scene. But it looks pretty good, even for a matte painting mixed with live action. It looks reasonably convincing.
Other than the optical illusion that it looks like there's kind of a hole there, but it's not.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was impressed with the people actually running and showing things live on these maps. You usually don't see that. It's just still like painting.
It usually just zooms in, doesn't it, to a painting? But it's pretty good, I thought. Andrew says it looks like future Giza. It does. It looks like this is a pyramidal society based around pyramids.
It is a solid structure.
Yeah. The awaiting beam down, meet the leaders, and tell them that the quake posed no threat, so don't worry about it, guys. It's all fine. But the accost tell him that the threat from Adra is from Adra herself and not necessarily the quakes. Then, guess who appears? Adra herself.
Miss Sassy. I gotta love her outfit, though.
I tell you, she's got some absolute cracking outfits in this episode. Absolute cracking. I usually find that women in TNG look awful. Like their outfits are
Yeah,
awful.
the 90s was a bad time for women's fashion. Yeah.
But I tell you,
shoulder pads.
she's got some cracking outfits in this episode.
Yeah, but to be fair, if you saw a woman in a nightclub wearing that now, you wouldn't think anything of it. You'd go, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
Yeah. For me, she's one of the good points about the episode. Martha Dubois.
Yeah, they'd apparently, they brought her in for a lot of different sessions and never found the right part for her. And then when they kind of had a try for this, she just blew them all away. And they were like, "Quick, get her an outfit. Let's start shooting."
She's dear to my heart because 7, 8-year-old me was a massive fan of Tales of the Golden Monkey. And she was Princess Koji in Tales of the Golden Monkey. She was like the bad person in it. She was the enemy of Jake and the goose. And yeah, I just loved her in Tales of the Golden Monkey. She was just one of those sort of bad girls, you know, who was just always trying to either woo Jake in some way and get him on side, or really grind him into the dirt. So, yeah.
I just want to mention, Ruth, that you haven't answered the second of the quick fire questions.
Oh yeah,
One
get your
about
answer.
the names.
Get your
Get your answer in. You're the only one not to have answered.
Yeah. And it reminded me, you know, it took me down memory lane. I started, when I should have been making my notes this evening, I started watching clips of Tales of the Golden Monkey on YouTube instead of like writing my script. And then it led me on I went like down a deep hole, and it reminded me.
I've never done that, not once.
It reminded me how I used to, you know, there was some great female anti-heroes in the early 80s. You know, she was one, Princess Koji in Tales of the Golden Monkey. And then that made me think at the same time, I really loved Diana in V, Jane Badler. Just loved that, you know. And then that reminded me of Servalan in Blake 7. And how Servalan was always trying to... Sorry, I'm going deep now, but...
You've lost me on Blake 7.
Blake 7.
Yeah, I can't say I watched it.
I was with you up to V.
But Servalan in Blake 7, where she was always like either trying to woo Avon, like get Avon on side, you know, almost like we'll rule the galaxy together, or she was just trying to crush Avon under her stiletto shoes. But
Andrew's saying she's like the female equivalent of Kerr Avon from Blake 7.
Well, yeah, funny, yeah. Well, yeah, it made me think of the female bad guy from Blake.
Well, they
7.
do, you know, later on in Voyager, spoilers, Bride of Chaotica is very much in the same vein all over again. So they do kind of play it up a bit in a later stage, but they're more sending it up than referencing it.
Yeah. Anyway, love a good early 80s female anti-hero. And that was the end of Act 1. So yeah, we're going to have answers to the questions.
So
Mirror Universe Janeway, yeah.
Well, you kind of see one in that episode, Living Witness. Not in the strictest sense, but like an alternate history. It's the one where they find the Doctor's module and then they play like a holographic recreation, and she's like really bad and wearing the black gloves and things.
So, question 2. Everybody answered C.
Question 2. Well, that's good because the answer is Livingston. Yes.
Ken Livingston, I presume, yeah?
That was a good guess.
Named after a producer of TNG.
Yeah, Ken Livingston, yeah.
Yeah,
Ken? Yeah.
My other answers were Benson and Mason. They were also producers of TNG. And I just put William in there for William Shakespeare just to see if I could catch anyone out.
No.
But nobody took the bait.
I answered first and completely guessed. Then everybody else answered C, and I was like, "Oh, I'm in for a chance here."
Yeah, it was Livingston the fish. There were rumours that he died when the Enterprise crashed, and you know everything was obliterated. But
Sorry, David Livingston. That was the name.
David
of the producer.
Livingston.
Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Ken Livingston's a UK politician. Never mind.
Yes, a Labour. Yeah. Yeah, so, but was it Michael Piller said no, Livingston survived. But then later said that, oh no, he died and was eaten by Spot the cat. But that couldn't have been right because it was a lionfish, and if Spot the cat had eaten Livingston, then Spot would have probably died. So,
Well, Spot was turned into a lizard and turned back. You never know what happened to him. He
That's
could be
true,
genetically
yeah.
modified now.
the same time,
Also, Spot used to be a male and then had kittens, so you know, who knows?
who knows? You never know. You never know. So yeah, that was the answers to that. Question 3. So we got
Question 3.
two
Most
answers, yeah.
people answered A, and then there was 1B and 1D.
And the answer was accost Jared, A. So, yeah, well done to those people that got A.
And Stu
I
Plum said
was
B,
between
but
the
then he
two.
changed it to A, so I changed his answer because we hadn't given the
All right
results by then anyway.
Yeah.
He realised he saw it in his notes and he was like, oh, I've answered wrong. It's different in my notes. Cool. So we have Tubbykins is on 120 points. Stu Plum is on 100 points. Sean, did you answer B on that one, Sean?
I'm sure I did. Oh yeah, I got that one wrong. Yeah, I
Golly my
was kind of.
gosh. Sean's
I
on
was
60
I was
points.
between A and B, and I got it wrong.
And then Andrew is currently in our lead because he got the extra 10 points for the bonus question as well. Is on 130 points. And Good John's on 60 points. Ruth is on 100 points, and I am on 100 points. So at the moment, it is Andrew in the lead with 130, and Tabby is second with 120.
All right, well done, Andrew. Well done, Tabby. Moving on to Act 2. Act 2.
What?
Yeah, some people do take notes.
People are taking notes for this quiz. No wonder why I'm losing. Yeah, it became a thing. You know, Stu Plum started taking notes, and we had a couple of other, like Mickey used to take
notes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Took his
I
winning
always
seriously.
took
It's
this
certainly
because
not
I thought it was
mandatory.
fun.
Yeah.
Stu Plum does say, though, that, you know, he's sort of in his late 70s, and if he doesn't write it down, he'll forget it in 5 minutes.
Oh.
Bless him.
That black outfit though is pretty cool, right? Looks pretty good. I like it.
I love the bust on that.
I just don't like
Just
the
lays the suckers
prosthetics
out.
on her head. I don't know what that's all about. Because they don't have it as a people, do they? These Jackstians or
No.
whatever, Ventaxians.
Well,
So-
no, she's meant to be a con artist from a different race, so or she's a holographic representation of the devil. Like our devil doesn't look like us, you know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So they
have
That's
horns.
what their devil looks like. Yeah.
that's what their devil looks like. That's their personification of a devil. So she's I don't know if they have if they have a photo or visualization of her, then obviously she's projecting it holographically. But when
I
they take her
suppose we'll
powers away,
never know what she actually looks
she-
like.
But when they take her powers away, she still looks like that. So
Oh,
maybe she did just look like that, and they didn't know what the devil looked like. They just assumed or something. Because they did say it was considered rude to say her name, so maybe it's like Muhammad. They didn't like painting her either, so they don't know what she looks like.
Maybe. So Jared appeals to Adra to not punish his people. She tells them she's not here to punish, she's just here to subjugate. She's taken by Picard, though, who introduces himself. She tells him to keep up his good work. She gives Ventaxian scrolls that are guidelines on reporting population figures and economic forecasts. Picard jumps in and is like, "Who are you?" And she says she's got many names, including the Klingon Devil. But, question 4, what is the Klingon Devil called? Is it A, Mendoran, B, Torak, C, Grethor, or D, Feklar? So Mendoran, Torak, Grethor, or Feklar. I'll just get that one into chat.
There's various sort of commentary around this, but it's obviously difficult to say without saying the name. But there's been references before saying that there is no such thing as the devil to Klingons, but then, you know, they could be exaggerating when they're trying to sound hard and, oh, we don't fear anyone. So maybe that's not necessarily true.
Well, they do have a barge of the dead that brings them
they
over the
do.
river Styx kind of thing, and if
Absolutely.
you're honorable, you go to the good heaven like Valhalla, and if you're dishonorable, you go to the bad heaven. So maybe because we see the barge of the dead for like the good Klingons in the episode Barge of the Dead, but you know, so presumably he gets the barge with all the people that don't make it onto the good one.
Yeah, and it was actually in the original episode, Day of the Dove, where Kang told Captain Kirk that Klingons have no devil. So that's where the previous reference was. But then, Worf does look a bit unnerved at seeing blankety blank. And that's potentially because at this point in time, he's still suffering discommendation. So, his immortal soul is potentially in peril at the moment. So it was probably an uncomfortable reminder of where his fate might be should the worst happen.
How they didn't win an Emmy for best makeup for that particular job,
Yeah.
it's just what
It's
a
pretty good.
fantastic
Yeah,
like
it's pretty good.
I listened to a podcast recently with Michael Messor, and he said they were nominated something like 21 years in a row or 17 years in a row, something like that, but he'd only ever win it every third or fourth year. And some years they just give it to the West Wing, and you're going like, come on. But they couldn't give it to Star Trek every single year, so they give it to the West Wing, or they give it to House of Cards or something. They give it to anything at all rather than just give it to Star Trek every single time. But realistically, like, how does that not win an Emmy for best makeup?
That one should have been like, look, we like to pass it around, but not this year. Did you see that?
I mean, it was so
mouth.
gooey and bleh. It had a real
kind
of
wet.
visceral look to it.
Yeah, it even had like a little water spout, so when he opened his mouth, they just dribbled. It was fantastic,
Gross.
which presumably is acid or something.
And also, that dude is stacked.
He is, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Played him. Andrew thinks I might have pronounced it wrong. D. Feckler. I might have done. But it is.
You were heavy on the A.
Yeah,
Feckler.
Yeah, it's my Plymothian accent coming through with the R. Yeah. Feckler? Don't know. But, yeah, anyway. She turns into the Klingon beast here, but Worf's not impressed. Picard tells her he's seen beings who can be more described as the devil more than her. So, yeah, nobody's impressed by these. They're quite like in the background there. You see they got these tapestries hung up on the wall of the hall, I guess it is. I quite like how they've got this like cultural symbol, and it's in the wall lightings and in the tapestry, and you see it all over the place.
Well, it's quite a basic set. I mean, it's just plywood walls that are painted, but they make a decent effort to stretch the budget and make it look like a ceremonial space.
These tapestries are seen again as chair coverings in Unification, and they're even in Enterprise. They come up again in Enterprise as a part of a wider tapestry.
You see the chairs again in Enterprise as well, and you probably see those light fixtures somewhere aside or something bigger. But yeah, the chairs come back.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. Next, Picard. There you go. So Picard asks to see the actual contract. So they take him to review the Scrolls of Ardra. Again, you can see that symbol in the background in the scroll room. It's pretty cool. Ardra orders Jara to release the hostages, and Picard orders Data to review the scroll contract. The away team, minus Data, beam back to the ship. Back in the observation lounge. Once again, look, they're in the observation lounge talking, and Worf looks completely bored of the situation. He'd rather be anywhere else.
About hell.
It's a bit like some of my developers in work when I call a meeting. That's what they look like. That's the faces I see in Teams. It's faces like that.
Anytime I see a shot of the observation room, I always look in the reflection of the table to see can I find something, because it's such a hard... obviously it's a reflective surface, so there's a really good chance to be a blooper there, but I always look for it.
Yeah.
Back to the observation room. There we go.
Yeah, quite often, actually, the reflections in the table are done digitally, because the camera's looking from the other side, and you don't get the screen, because the images on the screen are digitally replaced, and quite often the stars are digitally placed. And so they have to create the reflections on on the table. So quite often, all the reflections on the table are done digitally rather than actual true reflections.
Oh, impressive.
And they got the one wrong under Worf and Crusher. Is that Crusher's head that they mirrored down
That's
under
Crusher
Worf?
here, yeah. See, I'm not sure you'd actually see the light off the top of her head there from that reflection down there. It doesn't quite
I think
look
it's more
right.
the angle, because look, Riker's is under Crusher, and Picard is under Riker. I think it's more just the angle that's given that impression.
Yeah, maybe.
Where Worf's reflection would be is off the table.
Off
or it's
here,
out of shot.
yeah, back this way.
Mhm.
Yeah. So in the observation lounge, we're discussing who this Ardra is. They think it's possibly Q, or a Q-like being, but he wouldn't be interested in economic forecasts. Picard gets the flim-flam vibes from her, like it's all smoke and mirrors, like a magician.
Flim flam.
Yeah. Deanna says that her mind's focused and she can't read any sort of deception from her. Picard tells Geordie to go back with Dr. Clark and trace the origins of the tremors.
Ruth is saying it's funny how on other planets they often only have one religion, culture, or language. It's a good point. And yes, Smiler's here. Hi, Smiler.
Hey, Smiler. Good evening to you. It's great to have you back. I have to say, I've been trying to put the questions in. Not always doing it right. But been giving it a go. Picard heads to. Yeah, no. Picard heads to the bridge to find Ardra in his command chair. How very dare she? But, you know, as you say, stunning shoes. He offers to remove her by force, but she laughs and says, you know, make me. Worf approaches her but gets knocked back by some kind of force field. Picard has her beamed to the planet, so she's gone. But then, lo and behold, the ops officer turns around and it's not the not Sulu guy that we saw earlier in the episode. It's not Sulu. That's why I called him. I didn't know his name. We just called him not Sulu.
Well, it is funny that an Asian adopt is kind of unusual. So
yeah,
your mind naturally goes there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not Sulu. It's Ardra. She's replaced him, but still got his uniform on. Well, I assume not his uniform because it wouldn't be fitting him like that. Yeah. Sorry, you going to say something, Maz?
I was just going to say, Smiler says, remember to hit the like button because we've got 9 viewers and only 5 likes.
Oh, yeah.
I've hit the like button. Who has forgotten?
Oh, we're on 8 now.
Hit that like button. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Well done, Smiler.
Yeah, well done. I hadn't thought of saying that. Data arrives to tell them that the contract is solid. Chief Sean, did you want to say something?
I was going to say, Smiler just asked a question there. Is there an Ardra agent somewhere else? I'd say they're just in a in a pattern buffer in a transporter. They're just in stasis, basically. So they can hold you in a pattern buffer for half an hour, 40 minutes without there being any major issue. Or in Strange New Worlds, apparently you can do it for weeks at a time. But previous to that, an hour or so you could get away with.
Yeah, I think Scotty put himself in some sort of pattern buffer for many years, didn't he?
There was kind of a cheat with it. They were sucking all this weird power and cycling it. I don't pretend to fully understand it, but that was kind of an exception rather than the rule.
Yeah. Yeah. So Data arrives, tells them the contract's solid. Ardra think this is wonderful because it's an unexpected bonus that not only does she get a planet, but she gets everything in its orbit as well, including the Enterprise. She leaves and the not Sulu guy returns to his place once again. There's a picture just for Tavi because she hadn't had him for a while.
Hey.
So I put that in just for you, because I thought that's quite a nice picture of him there. Well,
I had to stop this episode twice to go back because his eyes actually looked blue to me from my screen, and he still looks blue to me now. Like blue.
Hold on, we'll double up for you, Tavi. Hang on, give me a second.
Thank you.
There.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
They recolorized. They recolorized the Blu-ray versions, the HD versions, which they changed the color of things slightly. Like Picard's hair always looks slightly purple in the HD versions, where it looks completely grey in the SD version. So I don't know if that's changed the color of his eyes slightly.
Well, if you watch the well, maybe it's changed in the more remastered versions, but the first couple of episodes of or the first half a season of Voyager, the costume people kept re-dyeing the uniforms because they weren't looking the way they wanted when they came out on film. And what happened was they were color correcting them. So the guys in post production were color correcting them, and then the guys in production were dyeing them different colors. They were like, it's a little bit too red, it's a little bit too light when they were watching the episodes back. And eventually the
Not
costume people
realizing
just,
it was in effect.
yeah, not realizing that was an effect, and they were like, they keep coming out a way we didn't mean for them to come out, but it was actually they were doing it in post production. So at a certain point, at about halfway through the season, the two of them talked, because in reality, when would like the costuming people speak to the post production people? Never. So it came up eventually, and they just went, and the costuming people just gave up and just kept it consistently the same color and said they're going to do whatever they're going to do to it, left it at that.
Yeah. Even Pogo only had a red uniform for his video, and he color corrected it to make it look yellow.
And he color corrected his eyes as well, and he changed all the lighting, and it's just a green screen, everything. It's fantastic.
Yeah, he's a green screen master.
Speaking of Pogo, hold on. Where is he? There he is.
There he is. Yeah, so that is actually Pogo in a red uniform there.
And his eye, he's not wearing contacts. He's just recolored his eyes yellow.
Yeah, that's right.
And the green screen works fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. Well, in the frozen screen like that, frozen frame like that, you can see it, but in the video, you absolutely cannot tell it's a green screen.
Yeah, the way he did the different lighting when he goes from the bridge to the transporter room to the corridor, and then to outside, the lighting here he recreated for it was fantastic.
And
anyway,
also all the
if you notice that kind of trivia, yeah.
All the mannerisms and the taking the breaths where Data does is just perfect. Spot on.
It's really satisfying. It's really satisfying to watch. So, any other trivia for this act, Maz?
No, I mean I've missed a bunch of stuff from earlier, like the whole sort of Scrooge thing was a bit of a homage to Patrick Stewart's Christmas Carol, because that was a huge success.
Yeah.
This episode illustrates Arthur C. Clarke's third law of any sufficiently advanced technology is almost like magic.
So he did play Scrooge.
He did play Scrooge, and they made a film of it later.
Yeah, because that's why I asked who played Scrooge in the Muppets, because I see Patrick Stewart playing Scrooge, and I couldn't remember who it was. And I thought
it was a stage adaptation in 1988, and then he remounted it several times since, including A Christmas Carol in 1999.
Yeah. Right, there you go. Okay, answer to question 4 then. What's the Klingon devil called? It was the Feklar, however you want to say it. Feklar.
You are not Feklar.
Yeah.
Everybody said D. So points are still the same in that Andrew is first and Tavi just on his heels, nippy nip 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 in second.
And C, Grethor, that's actually the name of like Klingon hell. So Feklar was presiding or shepherding people to Grethor. There we go. Act 3. Moving on up, moving on out.
Smiler, just in reference to the naked in a pattern buffer, there's one episode where someone says that they got an emergency transport and they turned up in the transporter pad and their uniform had left behind them, so they thought that they were beamed up but the uniform didn't come out. And I cannot remember who said it or what series, but it definitely was there, so maybe someone can remind me. So that has happened before in canon, that someone was beamed up and then their uniform got lost in the transporter and they came out without it.
When you had the two datas, by the way, Smiler was saying it looked like you had like a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other.
Well, that's quite. I can go back. I've only got a few.
Said it's like Data was feeding you data trivia in your ear.
It's kind of like Tavikin's like ideal position, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I was going to say, like Tavi is like, I need that backdrop. I want to be in a data sandwich.
Yeah.
But it's shoes, and oh my god, I just short circuited. I wouldn't be watching anything. I'd just be looking at my own cam.
Chakotay was beamed up without clothes. Sorry, I had to look it up. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah. Okay. I thought
But he told it as a story. It didn't happen in the episode. But anyway.
I thought it must be
When he was a cadet who was beamed up in an emergency transport, when he arrived in the pad, he was still sopping wet. He was nearly drowning, but his uniform didn't come with him. He was just
I think he was thinking it must be something lower decks related, but no.
Yeah,
Voyager.
you're getting into that area.
Yeah. Which of course started last week. So yeah, season 3 of Lower Decks started last Thursday. If anybody's seen that out there.
Yeah, and they did have like a little transporter museum, so they went quite into it.
They
and
did.
They had a chief.
They did. Yeah, an old chief.
Chief Denny.
Yeah.
And Magic Carpet Ride and the Phoenix, so it was all good.
It was all good. Even the music from First Contact, it was great. Anyway.
I'm gonna have to catch up on Lower
Did
Decks.
enjoy that.
Recently.
There's only one new episode, but it heavily references First Contact.
Mm. Yeah. Okay, so where were we? In the ready room, Picard studying the con game. He quotes P.T. Barnum. There's a sucker born every minute. Data says they have had 1,000.
There's no evidence that P.T. Barnum actually ever said that. It's apparently a bit of a myth.
Is it something that's just been attributed to P.T. Barnum?
Yeah, apparently so. There's he most likely never said it. No reliable source ever documenting his use of this phrase or even of the term sucker.
Yeah. Why are you on the why are you in the TARDIS?
I just playing. Why not?
It's the wrong series. Wrong series, Sean.
Hold on, where was the other one I put in? Oh, where am I now?
According to the wrong station, Jesus.
You're on the Orville. There you go, Defiant.
I like this one because if I lean this way and I'm typing on my keyboard, it actually looks like I'm at the station.
You'll actually sat at the station. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Because it allows me to sit this way and watch the chat.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
Oh yes, the
Continue
Orville.
on.
Okay, I'm moving on, Sean. So shush. I'm moving on. Right. Data says that they have had 1,000 years of peace. Picard can't speculate what happened 1,000 years ago, but fear is a good motivator. He points Data to consider Scrooge, as he was playing earlier in the episode, and how fear affected him. Picard thinks she is using their fear to enslave them. Picard charges Data to find a loophole from the last 1,000 years of Ventaxian legal precedents, and he goes off to bed. That's great, having a member of staff, isn't it? That you can just go, I just want you to research the last 1,000 years of legal legislative actions on this planet.
Good night.
Good night. He knows he doesn't have to sleep.
Have a cat.
Yeah. So Data goes off to do that, and Picard goes and has a little lie down. It just made me laugh. There's a picture of Picard in bed for Karen, who's not here, but there you
He's
go.
not here, but I will enjoy this for her.
He looked like his head was almost in a bed of plants.
Yeah, I think I put something like that in my notes. Picard's like lying down in a garden somewhere.
Yeah, I think if I had that
the
plant there looking over me at night,
something like that.
Yeah, I'd worry that plant was gonna absorb me or eat me during the night. Like, look at it. Look.
With all the stuff that goes on the other Prime Enterprise, eventually that would be something I would be worried about. I don't understand how these people don't become.
Yeah. Wow, Sean's.
I think that's too much chess. Too much chess. I need to get back in the screen, Sean.
You can't see his speedos. There's more to that. Anyway, we'll move off that.
Yeah. Bruce says they don't take enough advantage of Data's skills. I think you're right. Yeah, they could use them for all sorts of things.
She also says she misses the Orville. Oh, we love the Orville.
We all miss
the Orville's fantastic.
Yeah. It's time to go back and watch through all of them again.
I just started watching it, actually. Me and my guy have just started it.
It's the first time.
Yes, we've never seen it.
Oh, it's so good.
You're in for a treat.
It's a bit uneven, but the third season is absolutely fantastic. It's hit a whole new stride.
They're
Whatever
all
they,
great. They're all great.
It took them 3 years to produce the third season, but and they really visibly aged between the second and third. But it's so good. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all great, but the third one is especially good. It's just it's
I'm looking forward to it. I just loved in the first episode how he was just dragging his ex through the coals in front of strangers, in front of everybody. He like got her by the back of the neck. Ho 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 ho.
Yeah, he did.
Well,
Yeah.
the episode where Rob Lowe guest stars is very good. You'll enjoy it. I won't say any more than that.
Yeah. I can't. I'm watching The West Wing at the moment. I've never seen The West Wing, so Smiler, Rainbow, and myself are on the second season. We're about halfway through the second season, and it's difficult to look at Rob Lowe in the same way after watching the Orville.
Yeah. Good point. Funny.
Yeah.
Blue juice.
Yeah, blue juice. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, it's Picard at night, and then here we go. Yeah, did I do this picture?
It's like I
Sorry.
just left to nest on my bald head in a pile of spiky plants.
Yeah, and then in the middle of the night, he wakes up to find the gatekeeper standing over him, asking him if he's the keymaster.
No, Smiler, no such luck. Sorry.
Because the Picard picture. Yeah.
She thought that was me, and she just took her a second to realize. I literally moved out of frame and just left a photo of Picard.
I worked hard on that gatekeeper keymaster pun, Sean.
Yeah, I loved it. It was good.
Thanks.
It was good.
It was very good, actually. I really enjoyed that one.
She tries to woo him but fails. He thinks she is obvious and vulgar. She changes her appearance to a Victorian lady and offers to be prim and proper and chase. She then changes to Diana, and tells him she can do anything he desires. He still rejects her and she tells him he will regret it. And she beams him down to the planet in just his pajamas.
She was making a pretty big call there. I just stopped the episode. I'm like, how freaking confident are you to tell somebody that whatever you're gonna do to them is gonna have you dreaming of that stuff for the rest of your life? I'm like, look, it's good, but what kind of powers you got? I want to know more about this race. I'm like, how are you gonna pull that off with your ship? Because like, what if he called you on that?
Yeah.
I just be like, okay, let's see what you
You've
got.
got to assume as a con artist that she's all bluff, right?
Yeah, she's
Yeah. I'm like,
max to the confidence.
They are, Monty.
Uh,
Yeah, it's too dark for you to see.
Ladder 8 in New York. Yeah. Ghostbusters. You can tell Sean's got a new toy, can't you?
Yeah, well, I spent €1,300 on this laptop. I'm quite enjoying it. I'm quite enjoying the fact I'm able to do more than one thing with it at once. Like everything isn't shut down, so the stream doesn't just freeze on me. I'm enjoying that.
I do have a fixation with Google Earth and Street View, and I did actually manage to find Ladder 8 by going around New York until I found it.
Well, I was caught on Google Earth or Google Street View the other day. So if you pass by the Munster Hotel in Thurles, you'll see me walking by it.
Yeah, if you pass by the Monty Band's old house in Liam, he's in the front garden doing gardening.
I am cutting the grass. Yeah, I'm on Street View.
wow.
Yeah. From many, many years ago, from about a decade ago.
What have you used? I've used everything.
Yeah. Okay, so this leads me to question 5. And it's in relation to this picture. This is a bit of a deep cut, okay? This is. So, in this scene here, we can see a giant yellow scanner in the background.
Oh.
But what episode was this prop first? Did this prop first appear?
I know.
Was it
1989's Batman?
No, that's not an
I
episode.
better not
That's
answer
not an
until
episode.
last day.
It's not
Yeah.
the Bat Signal. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's not about the signal. Is it
This is
A?
not fair.
Is it A, home soil? B, coming of age? C, Heart of Glory, or D, Arsenal of Freedom? So when was this scanner first appear? Was it Home Soil, Coming of Age, Heart of Glory, or Arsenal of Freedom? And figuring that this might be a bit of a difficult question, I have prepared a picture from the episode.
We get a clue.
So there you go. There's the scanner.
Okay, I remember the episode now that you've
Given it
shown
away.
it.
I thought I'd
Yeah.
help you out on that one.
Okay, say it again. Okay, yo.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah,
has
yeah.
to be. It has. Okay. Okay, so some sort of radar thing, right?
You should have waited, Sean. You should have waited.
I suppose I could have done. Yeah. Oh, I could have put it in the host chat and kept it to myself so that but anyway, next time.
There we go. Okay.
That was not the factoid I was expecting it to be.
Oh, wasn't
Well,
it?
the thing is, as soon as you showed me the shot, I remembered what the plot was, and as soon as I knew what the plot was, okay, kind of came together. I think I'm right.
I just recognized dude's head in the back. But of
Yeah.
course, for a few moments now, I've been stuck on Data. I'm like, ooh, picture of Data. Wait.
There you go.
We're doing a quiz.
There you go.
Although
I'll zoom in for you.
there are some similarities between that episode and the Wrath of Khan, when you think about it.
Data. Because I think I must have
Both
been
involve
thinking about,
terraforming dead planets,
That's true.
I think I must have been getting a different prop.
and then finding
but
out the planets aren't dead. Sorry, Mazza.
There's a multimodal reflection sorting machine apparently that was originally seen in Best of Both Worlds, which was reused as a console in the science station in Pentax 2. So that's what I thought you were going to ask about, but that must be a different.
You see those black cabinets right behind him in that shot? I'd say they were used about 40,000 times, and everything from in all sorts of shows. Like there's a few black cabinets with a few blinkies on it, and I was like, I guarantee you they were hired from
This
some
thing,
Is that the thing?
this thing here, this was used in Best of Both
Multimodal
Worlds.
scanner.
Multimodal
So it was
scanner.
that one. That's
This
what I
one.
thought you were going to ask, but maybe not.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that one. There's a lot of reused props in this, but yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one. That yellow one there was the one that I decided on for the question. So anyway, Picard asks Worf to beam him back to the Enterprise, but Worf can't because there's an interference. Instead, they decide to send Data in a shuttle pod to come pick him up. And bring a uniform as well. Doesn't want to walk around in his nightshirt any longer. And there we go. We're in the shuttle pod. On the trip back, Data tells Picard about the legal precedence of using an arbitrator when the case involves a third party. Picard is pleased with this news. They approach the Enterprise, and just as they're about to dock, the Enterprise disappears. Blink. And that's the end of the act.
Spoiler sort of question, but bearing in mind the reason why the Enterprise disappeared, would it have really disappeared if they were like that close to it? Because if a cloaking has been extended around it from some distance,
This isn't.
surely if they were.
Yeah, this
I
isn't.
think
This isn't the closest they get either. This is like
They-
earlier in the scene. They get like right
Yeah.
up to it.
I
Like,
think
you'd
it's more
that
they do like a
they
little
would get
subset.
inside the cloaking device, right? And then they would
Yeah.
see it. Or, I don't know.
I'd say they extended the cloaking device around it so that they couldn't see it either way.
Or maybe they
Or
go
something to that
with
effect.
all the technology she uses. Maybe they've extended the cloaking device around. Maybe if we just keep
that's-
going forward slowly,
Yeah.
we'll get in.
You would at least go to the place where the Enterprise was supposed to be, right?
Yeah, you would have
Yeah.
thought.
And then eventually you'd go dunk.
Donk. Yeah, there it is.
But I mean, that would have to be such a precise fit of a, extension of a cloaking field because, it's more of a lasso effect, isn't it? Like than something skin tight. But
Yeah.
just seems a bit not quite right. But
Mr. Tavikins is looking like he's going to be getting some points. So well done to you, sir. Well done.
I want to say Gujan, but that's definitely not right. How do I pronounce it, Tavi?
G, just the G, and then add the very light V sound. And that D, that soft D, is actually TH. And then the O is just a long O that with it when it has the hash over then, and the J they pronounce as a Y. So Gvyon.
All right, okay.
I'm going to call him Good John.
Yeah,
Good job. Yeah.
Ah.
yeah, it's a struggle
Yeah.
a bit with that, but I'll do my best. Yeah, okay. But I don't know if you know what a goujon is, but it's kind of a posh chicken nugget, and that's every time I see it, that's all I can see.
It is.
Well, it's easier if you just concentrate on the V sound. Just Vuv. Like
Vuv.
booth, but with a V.
Vuv.
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 And just sound like the G is just something you kind of hiccup before. Gvuv.
Gavuv.
Sounds good.
Gavuv. Gavuvion.
Yon. Yep.
Gavuvion. I got it. I got it. It's easy. When you know how, it's easy. Well done, Gavuv. You've got some points
It's not
because
Norwegian. His name is actually Icelandic. Sorry.
That's what I was. That's what I was thinking. Because yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah.
the answer to question 5, where did we see the scanner used? It was home soil, A. So well done for everyone getting A.
Tavi, where was your answer?
Yeah, what was it? Bags of mostly water, was it? Is that the
Tavi,
answer?
Yeah, bags of mostly water.
You didn't
I
answer.
did put in A.
Where?
Oh no, I didn't hit enter.
No.
Oh,
No, you. No points for Tavikins.
oh, really?
No. I think
We
her,
know she knew it.
her husband knew.
We know she knew it.
She knew it, so answered for her, as often Smiler Rainbow does for me.
Oh my gosh. I actually thought I had hit enter. Oh my god.
Well, everybody got that one right again, so no change to the positions.
Yeah.
Andrew's still in the lead on 310 points now.
Everyone, I have to tell you this: the drama we had after last week's episode, when the episode finished and we told Tavikins that her uniform appeared backwards the whole episode because her camera swapped the image round. The drama we had.
I was so upset. I was using mirror image because at the time my camera always put me in the corner. So if I flipped it around, I looked like I was more here, or at least the camera flipped itself. It put me in the center, but I did not think at all about the insignia, and nobody told me.
No, but we've got it sorted out this week, so it's all good. It's all good. Was there anything else for Act 3?
Oh, my sweet.
There are actually certain shots in certain shows where they to make a set look different, they did actually reverse the uniform so that they, like there's one time that Deep Space Nine, in the episode Ducat, Deep Space Nine, they used Voyager's brig to make it look different. They actually have the uniform the other way around, and then they reverse the shots to try and make it look like it's not Voyager's brig, but it quite clearly is.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a number of times where you can see they've reversed a shot because the uniform's backwards, or the registry
Also,
on the Enterprise is backwards. Or
also, I'm left-handed, and I really notice when people are left-handed. So when suddenly everyone's left-handed, so it often picks it up.
yeah.
If they're pointing a phaser with their left hand, it
Yeah.
looks wrong to me. You're like, oh right, everyone went left-handed. No, they didn't.
Oh.
Okay, moving on to Act 4 then. We're back on the planet, and Data's searching for the Enterprise. Geordi notices a jump in Z particles in the area when the Enterprise disappeared, indicating a power source. Ooh. Oh, come on, pictures. Ardra appears, rocking another great outfit, I have to say.
Again, those props behind them, they definitely rented those from somewhere. Those desks.
Yeah, it's modern props.
Yeah, that's the crowd.
Modern props. Unfortunately, they went bust a few years ago. They don't exist anymore. But
I'm sure someone bought out all those old '70s blinky light things.
yeah, they all look like modern props.
Yeah,
things.
they're more Logan's Run than Star Trek. You can spot them when you see them.
Yeah.
And also, it's the science labs because there's different colored bottles in it. There always has to be different colored bottles, even when they're not doing chemistry.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. These are actually from. They appear quite often in sickbay. You see them on the side. But yeah, these modern props things, you often saw them in Buck Rogers,
Yes.
Battlestar Galactica, all sorts of like Glenn A. Larson productions like Knight Rider and things.
Oh yeah. Night Rider's garage would be full of those things. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so yes, Ardra appears rock again. Love the outfit. She demands respect, but Picard won't give it. He says he calls for an arbitrator, but Ardra doesn't see the point because she's already got the planet and Picard's ship. Picard ups the ante though by offering the location of an emerald. But what emerald does he offer up the location for?
Oh, Buggerino.
Is it A, the Ligilium emerald? Is it B, the Zatira? Zaturl? Hopefully Smiler will put these answers in chat, so I won't get it wrong. Or was it C, the Victoria emerald, or D, the Cat's Paw emerald? The Ligilium, the Zaturl, the Victoria, or the Cat's Paw emerald? Which emerald was it?
Bit of a guess. Oh, and other people are saying the same, so maybe good guess.
Ooh. Or have you guessed and now everybody's copying your guess?
Yeah.
No.
You're copying me. I don't know what I'm talking about, so maybe don't.
How is that pronounced? Did I mispronounce that?
Oh, just for 1 second, I'm just gonna hit out a shot. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, you can't see it because my name's there.
Was that? Sorry, what was that?
Oh, it just says it's Wednesday, my dudes.
Oh.
Sorry, there's an internet meme where there's a photo of back in COVID when everyone forgot what day of the week it was. There was this kind of internet meme that you post a photo of a frog and it would say it's Wednesdays, my dudes, and it's obviously not a frog. It's
Is that Paris?
Yeah, it's one of the Paris Janeway children. Yeah.
Paris Janeway, one of them. Yeah.
But unfortunately, my name title is after ruining up the
Oh,
thing. It doesn't matter. And it's not funny when you have to explain it. Anyway, we move on.
It's the name of the emerald. Gavuthion. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, name of the emerald. Is it A, Ligilium, B, Zaturl, C, Victoria, or D, Cat's Paw? Yeah, what's the name of the emerald? Anyway, she doesn't fall for it. She's tempted, but no, she does not fall for it. She wants something else. She claims not to care, and she claims Picard as her prize if she wins. There's her getting close to Picard.
The sexual harassment lawsuits. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. She wants the captain. And if you imagine that this episode was written for the original 60s Star Trek and then Phase 2, they wrote this with Kirk in mind as being the captain and her love interest. So,
yeah, but she wasn't a female con artist at that time.
was she not?
In the original story,
Oh.
she was like the brain of one of the original elders from thousands of years ago, like his stored consciousness, come back to haunt them or come back to reap his whatever. It changed to a female con artist as part of the rewrite.
It's Quark's bar. I think that is Quark's bar.
I've been trying to find Data's bedroom, but I haven't been able to do it. Not a good photo, at least.
I'll have to go there
Bruce
next
Wright,
season.
though, Kirk wouldn't have resisted so easily.
No, he wouldn't have. That was the point I was trying to get around to making. But you completely blew my point out of the water, Mass.
Kirk would have done the whole Austin Powers thing, like with the robots. Is like, I don't think it's I can't resist you, you can't resist me, and then make their heads explode. There's only like 60 episodes of the original series, and in 3 different episodes he talks the computer into exploding. Like he was very good at that.
Yeah. Where was I? Oh yes. Blah, blah, blah. So, I've lost where I was. Oh,
Andrew
that's
said
it.
he loved
Yes,
going
it-
to Quark's Bar in Star Trek Online.
Yeah. So Picard agrees that she can have him if she wins. She chooses Data as the arbitrator, as he has no feelings, being an android. No feelings can get away of his judgment. Data requests Picard reject the request for the exactly same reason, but Picard tells him he's the only person on the planet she can't intimidate, and he will make a fine judge.
They should have switched that the other way around if they had some damn sense. Would have made the stakes be like, you can have Data and I'll arbitrate. And I'd be like, please lose.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to get it.
During the arbitration, Jared is prime witness for both sides. He explains the desperate state of Ventax 2 1,000 years earlier that drove them to make their pact with Ardra. After that pact that gradually transformed the planet into the peaceful agrarian state you see today, Picard disputes whether Ardra had actually anything to do with the transformation of the planet. There he is, making his points. Data overrules Picard's objection, telling him to sit down, much to Picard's annoyance. Ardra then demonstrates her various powers, including earthquakes, making Picard disappear, and Ardra herself appearing as the Earth's devil. I don't think that makeup's quite as convincing as the Klingon version.
Yeah, that's horrific.
He's wearing like a blue
really-
morph suit. Like,
That's
They
really
must have
like
used all their money.
that's really like the cheapest. Well, the thing is, I suppose they could probably find a devil suit, whereas they couldn't find the others. So they justified the expense of doing up the others, but they couldn't justify the expense of paying for a devil costume. Where they're like, "What do you mean? We have a devil costume right here."
yeah.
It's like when you want to go to McDonald's, it's like, it's okay, we have burgers at home. It's never as good. Like, you just know.
They could have, like with the guy that they used for Feckler, they could have just had the same dude painted red and put very little on
Yeah.
him. That little bodysuit was horrific, and the devil would not cover up his junk.
Yeah, get Dave Grohl to do it. Would have been fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, Andrew said he used to go there in Stowe. Yeah, we used to play Stowe years ago. Rainbows,
Yeah,
flying a rainbow. and stuff.
I tried it. It's very clunky. I just couldn't get into it at all. But I love how when someone dies, you know, Rene Aubergenois or whoever, you know, that everyone kind of gathers on the promenade and they all get together. I like that there's a little tradition going on that everyone kind of comes together and those things. So
Yeah. Deep Space
Andrew
Nine's a real
says that
concept.
outfit's rather revealing.
It is, isn't it? I think you can see which way he's tucked.
Yes, their devil horn.
yeah, he dresses on the left. Yeah, very
Yeah.
much so.
How's it hanging?
I didn't see that, and I'm the pervert here.
Well, Sean always notices left-handed people, right?
Left-handed.
I think he must be left-handed. Oh dear.
Letting you know he's left-handed without saying.
Yeah, not left Mickey'd. Sorry, Mickey. Oh, Mickey's not here. It's grand.
So anyway,
So, Mickey means something different in Ireland, which is quite funny when Disney talk about all their hidden Mickeys. That just sends us right over the edge. You literally go around Disney World and it's like, look, watch out for hidden Mickeys. I was like, what? Where? Like, the Flashers here? What the hell?
Ardra challenges Picard to explain these things of all the things she's just demonstrated. If he's so sure that she's not really Ardra, and Picard admits that he cannot. And that's the end of Act 4. Do you want the answer to the question? I think everybody probably answered B by the looks of things. Oh no,
Except for
Ruth.
Ruth, who out today.
Ruth went complete rogue and answered A. And the answer is B, Zatorl.
I don't know if this is too involved, but you can set up like a Google Doc where everyone submits their answers and you can see what other people answered. And you can
Yeah.
share it in the link.
Yeah.
You know, and that way there'd be no copying anymore. Everyone would have to guess at random.
I hate to talk shop on stream, but the whole point, Sean, is that it generates traffic in chat, which is good for your stream.
Fair point.
If everybody
Fair point.
generated traffic in a Google Docs, It would.
That would be fairly pointless. Yeah, never mind.
The whole point of the operation.
Just take that one right back in. Thank you.
And Ruth says she went against everybody just in case one day that strategy will work.
One
And that's
day.
a good point. If you're already behind and everybody's answering the same, why not chance
Why
it?
not? Why not?
Well,
Could end up
also,
shooting a goal.
if you don't know, you can always go first, and a lot of people will copy you. So if you're wrong, you'll take a lot of people with you, and if you're right, then it doesn't cost you anything at all.
And then right before
So
he
you're-
gives out the answer and say, "No, I hit the typewriter wrong. I actually meant," and then put your correct answer.
The chance of getting in there first, though, is small because Sean usually is answered, but before I've actually finished asking the question.
And I still have somehow get them wrong half the time. Yeah. I feel like I know Star Trek, but what's the star date that episode 428 said? No.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done a star date question. I don't. That'd be just too tedious.
I remember seeing a Guinness World Record where they or not a world record. It was a UK show where they were doing things for testing. Anyway, they had all the tapes of the original series, and they showed like a 10-second clip, and then they had to tell you the episode and the star date of every single one.
Oh.
But to be fair, it was only the original series.
With Davina McCall or something.
Could
I
have
seem
been.
to remember where people did like these crazy challenges like that. Anyway.
But it was only the original series. They only have like 70 episodes. But it's still, it's relatively easy to do that. But compared to like nowadays, if you want to watch all Star Trek as a full-time 35-hour-a-week job, it'll take you 4 months.
How are we doing then with the scores then, Maz?
So we have Ruth in 5th place. We have Sean and Gavuthion in 4th place.
Ooh,
and then we have Stuplum and myself in 3rd place with 400 points. Tavikins in 2nd place with 420 points. And Andrew in 1st place with 430. Pipped her to the post with that extra bonus question
at the beginning. I was wondering if that would play into it. Tavona's fully functioning factoid to circular life is actually the other version of life form that could possibly exist in the Milky Way galaxy. Yeah, aside from carbon-based life form, that would be interesting if we ever did find silicon-based life. Right. Act 5. We're into the final act, guys. We are nearly there. And picture. As she performs her tricks in the courtroom, Geordie triangulates Z particles and gets the location of a possible ship, though there doesn't appear to be anything there.
Fun, not so fully functional fact. They gave a some sort of coordinates, didn't they? If that was on Earth, those coordinates would be near Herat in Afghanistan.
Yeah. But not over the pole, as it.
No, and they did say, this is more one for you, I guess. They talked about the West magnetic pole or something.
Something like that.
But magnetic poles.
Well, at least for once, it wasn't California because everything seems to be
magnetic
California.
pole, but magnetic poles only have a north and a south orientation, never east or west.
Yeah.
So the stream just tripped out for about 5 seconds there. We were back.
Oh, did it?
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, I have it on the tally in the corner. I was like, you all dripped out for me, and I looked. Well, maybe it was just my internet.
It might have been just you, Sean.
Actually, it just occurred to me, if the tally would go and this would go if my internet dropped. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Okay. All right. So back in the courtroom, Picard's questioning Jared. Did Ardra snap her fingers and change the planet overnight? No. Did she create peace? No. Did she advise the council on how to create peace? No. Did she remove all the weapons? No. Did she not even pick up one piece of trash? No, Ardra had left the planet before any of this stuff had happened. Picard comes to the conclusion that the population, through their own hard work, created the paradise they see now, and Ardra didn't have anything to do with it. Ardra objects. Data sustains her objection, telling Picard he will draw his own conclusions. But then adds "sir" on the end of it because he realises he's talking to his captain.
Yeah, actually, should he really be adding "sir"? Because
Not really.
Yeah, like in the courtroom, that's not the there's a time and a place to call him sir, and that isn't the place to call him sir.
No.
He's the boss in that situation. That actually, I noted that, and that irked me at the time.
I
I
thought
said
it was a bit
that's
silly.
not right.
Yeah.
You wouldn't call someone sir if in the courtroom proceedings he's the boss, not the captain.
That's right. In the rebuttal, Ardra asked Jarad, as leader, is he satisfied, fully satisfied that she fulfilled her part of the contract? And
Fully what?
satisfied.
Ah, damn it.
What? What have I done? Did I say something wrong?
I was making a joke about fully functional, but Tavi didn't pick
Oh.
up on it. Sorry.
Oh,
No, I did completely.
It just went whoosh. Sorry, we move
Fully satisfied. Not fully functional,
on.
fully
Functionally
satisfied.
Yeah.
And he agreed that he was fully satisfied. Just then, Geordie enters and requests a recess. Data agrees 1 hour. There's no question, by the way, in this. We've done I just thought about that, and I was like, "Where's
that's
my
why
question?"
We did the results already.
We've had the results already. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I know that they're like they've already gone their certain ways in this court thing, but one of the things that I thought was odd is that she didn't claim to have caused the change, not by physical action, but by influence,
Yes.
because it was under duress, fear, and under contract. That is what created the change. Actually, she could have claimed that it didn't need.
She
to be
knew that by
anything else.
setting the contract and those stipulations that change would occur.
Yeah, and I mean that works in court. Like if someone is saying, "I did this because I had a gun to my head," that is fear. Is an actual duress, and fear is an actual mechanism of change. So I thought that was a bit.
Yeah, there's a very famous case in Northern Ireland where basically two people were abducted, and they went into the house, held guns to their family's head, and said, "Go into work and take out all the money." And they took out 26 million out of a bank. And of course, they never got prosecuted for it. Their family it was a tiger kidnapping of sorts. Their family were completely under stress over it.
May I interject?
Yes.
It's on a different point, but when we were talking about, I mean, I'm just catching up on the chat, but talking about silicon-based life forms, Smiler said, "Does that include Pamela Anderson?"
There you go.
And then Gvuthion said, "Does that include?" I thought he was saying Kardashians, and I'm thinking, are they silicon-based?
Kim.
No, the other
But
one.
he's not. He's talking about Kim Kardashian, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sat there going, Kardashians.
Well, to be
Very
fair,
good.
like, assume the Kardashians are named after their father, who, the whole OJ case was in the news around the same time the Kardashian last episode was on. So I've not run the dates, but I can assume that was in their head when they named the species.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely,
Carry on.
the whole Pamela Anderson, I looked at it and I read it. Today, guys, I am just like off today. I must not be feeling well. Because usually I am on it with any sort of
we're
raunchy
talking
information
boobs here.
like
You
this.
would be all over that,
Yeah, I'm like,
like figuratively and literally.
it's like, oops. Yes.
Funny.
Oh, man. Whew.
Oh, no, I stand corrected. The whole OJ thing happened in '94, and the wounded was '91. So I'm not like. It seems too strange to be a coincidence, but I guess maybe he was a famous lawyer outside of that. Who knows?
No. Picard tells Geordie his reputation as a litigator and his very soul is on the line, so this better be good. Geordie tells him what he's found: a cloaked ship orbiting the planet. The Enterprise is also being located and freed from the dampening field that held it hostage. Picard gives him instructions. Can you imagine the power, though, that she must have had on that ship to hold the Federation flagship hostage in a dampening field in a cloaking device?
I was thinking that, like,
The
it
flag-
would be great
the
to know
flag-
what they were trying to do to get out of that situation.
I'd love to have seen Riker. Do you think
Enterprise.
Riker is just like sat on the bridge like, Captain? Oh.
Well, you got to think about
Where's
it.
my
They had their
trombone?
shields down. They had their shields down the
Yes,
entire
my
time.
trombone.
Well, they refit the Enterprise later, or the Galaxy classes later, but they really weren't that powerful a ship. I mean, they were huge and they were underpowered, based on how much of its size it had to protect and how big the shields had to be.
Wasn't underpowered.
It was underpowered for its size.
Flagship of a
It's the flagship of the Federation.
fleet.
They cookie cut it, stamped them out for the Dominion War because
one
it
stage,
was
the
like
Ferengi-
the best ship they had.
At one stage, the Ferengi decloaked 3 40-year-old Klingon birds of prey, like that hold like 12 officers each, and just shot like 5 shots at it and completely disabled the ship. Like it wasn't that special.
Yeah.
It was meant for diplomacy and humanitarian missions. It was never a fighter. They refitted it for the Dominion Wars and they did a lot of stuff to it to make it a lot better, and they made it a weapons platform and they made it more powerful. But it actually wasn't as good as they made it out to be in the early seasons.
Andrew wants to know if your comm badge makes a noise
Fortunately
when you tap
not. I wish it did. That would be great. But no, I think Maz has got a better comm badge. I bought Maz actual prop equivalent. Is exactly. It's
I
it.
exactly.
It
need-
makes noise, but it looks right.
As I said, new laptop, I'm going to experiment with things, but a soundboard with little sound effects that I can play into the thing would be pretty cool, and the combat chirp would be a good one to have.
I know. I've got a soundboard. I haven't unpacked it yet. I need to.
I'm not quite sure how much you can get away with without, compromising the stream. If you can play a voice message of Data saying I'm fully functional 5 times the stream without getting blocked. Hopefully you can.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's just an interesting thought. Whether you think the Enterprise is underpowered or not, which it's not underpowered.
For its size.
I think it is
Because the bigger the ship,
I'm gonna have to live with Sean. And he's the chief. Come on, you would know.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm actually in engineering right now, and I can tell you that the numbers don't match.
Yeah, it was the best.
was
That was the best warp engine Federation had.
Well, it takes 1,000 people to crew a Galaxy class ship. You can crew a Defiant class with 40. So, and if I put up 3 Defiants against a Galaxy class, absolutely Defiance, I think.
It doesn't take
Defiant
1,000
have been
people to crew a
invented at that
Galaxy
point,
class
have it?
starship.
Maybe you can do it at 100. I don't know.
You can do it a lot less. It just had a lot of scientists and emergency
That's
workers
true.
and
Yeah.
families and
Okay, they have botanists and science crew.
botanists,
and all
and it had a lot of extraneous people on the ship for doing all the different missions. It didn't need that for the crew. It could be
that's a fair
crewed with
point.
a small number, really.
But the amount of times the Enterprise gets bossed by it shouldn't be getting bossed that often. It's supposed
And
to be
gets destroyed by an ancient bird of prey in the end with one hit.
Yeah, yeah, 5 or 6 hits because it got
It's
through
a
their
boom,
shields. It has
yeah.
no armor whatsoever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruce
And
wants to know if left-handed people put their comm badge on the other side because their natural instinct would be to go with their other hand.
Yeah.
Well, I tend to do this. So if I'm sitting here like this, I end up blocking the comm badge, and I try, because for the purposes of the stream, I try not to do it because it kind of messes. It doesn't look like I'm in a cosplay when I do it. But because every time I put my hand here, it ruins it. But I think even I did it wrong. But I think uniform standards indicate that everyone has to do it the same side.
Yeah, they're always on the same side.
Well, like if you're in a real world military and you're shooting a gun, like the bullets will come out in such a way that they come out away from your face. But if you shot it left-handed, the hot bullet casings would like ping straight into your nose. So even if you're left-handed, you have to shoot right-handed. That's just it. No choice in the matter.
Okay, let's carry on. So the case continues. Picard tells Jared that not only does she not have any powers, but that also he has stolen her powers. He makes the tremors appear. He makes her disappear from a chair. He turns himself into Feckler, much to Data's amusement.
He also
I
says
thought that was awesome acting because at that one point, he actually as Feckler lifts his head up and roars, and I'm like, did Picard actually do that motion?
But I love the
Sheer
way
effect?
they obviously had like a tube with water in it, so when the mouth opens all the way, it it dribbles.
Oh.
It's great. I love it.
He also calls him Feckler of Klingon because, of course, this is a point where apparently the Klingon homeworld is still called Klingon before it gets called Kronos.
If this came out in 91, I think Star Trek 6 came out in 90, so it shouldn't have been the
Oh,
case.
yeah.
But maybe when it was written, it might have been it was written before and then they never
It
corrected
says it was not until the following year's Star Trek 6 that it was.
Yeah, I think you'll find Star Trek 6 was 92.
Yeah.
Like a man in orthopedic shoes, I stand corrected. Okay.
But the other one is you gotta love this, right? Why do you think
Yeah.
Picard does that? Because he's like,
Yeah.
I'm being cute,
Yeah.
I'm being cute, la 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 la.
Well,
la, la.
Q's been a captain enough times, so he's being Q this time. Click.
Well,
Very cool.
you have to remember,
Like
I
that.
saw all these things on video a year or two after they came out, and some things were on telly and they weren't, and yeah. When when you're in the 30s, it kind of all got jumbled together, so it's hard to get the timeline right in your head.
I do love Data's
Hey,
amused
Mickey
face.
is in
though,
the
so,
house.
yeah.
Hi, Mickey. Sorry.
Hey, Mickey,
Mickey,
good evening
Mickey,
to you,
You don't
sir.
understand.
Yeah, good evening, Mickey. Hope you are well, sir.
How you getting
Yeah.
on there, Mickey?
Yeah.
You having a good evening of it?
I love.
I can't do Northern Irish properly. So.
No. Yeah, no, just don't. Yeah, love Data's face.
I
though.
love the way they say
As an
power
American,
shower. They
it
say
all sounds offensive to me.
I love the way they say power shower. They say power shower.
Power shower.
Love it.
Harshar.
Yeah.
It's not power shower. It's power shower.
There's
Fantastic.
actually a lot of Klingon influence in this episode because they talked about the fact that First Contact with Ventax 2 was made by Klingons 70 years previously.
Right.
And there was also the legal case of precedent that Data mentions was to do with Klingons.
Yeah.
They've also got, Fekler, and there are apparently several Ventaxians in the background which are wearing outfits which look a bit Klingon inspired.
Yeah, I actually didn't make that connection, but
yeah,
I
I
know I
hadn't
noticed it a
noticed.
Klingon
It's
style,
one
but I
with a
didn't make that.
sash type thing.
Maybe that's it. The
Well, like,
sash.
Back in the TOS era, they were like enslaving, the Organians and stuff, and then the Enterprise was like, maybe don't enslave them, maybe just trade with them, and they were kind of having arguments about it.
Hmm.
But they would just take over, and just enslave them and said like this, produced for the Empire. So it's kind of weird. They went there, they started a trading relationship, built their houses, and didn't try and conquer the place. It's just that's not very Klingon, especially not 70 years ago Klingon, which would have been, I suppose, around Star Trek 3 or 4.
Yeah,
That
about
kind of
that.
area.
Yeah. around
Actually, it
that
could have been Star Trek 6. There's
film
little
era.
difference.
Yeah.
The
somewhere
the
that
TOS
time.
film era, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Data's being amused. There he is. Despite him enjoying the show, Data says that's enough. Picard tells the court how a team from the Enterprise is taking control of the ship, executing a series of transporter effects, which she has control over using eye implants. Her crew have told them how she's known by many names throughout the sector as a hustler. And this was her biggest score. There we go. So they got her. They got her banged to rights. She tries to make her escape, but Jared's already called the security to stop her. I guess these outfits do look like sort of like Klingon outfits from like TOS.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Although those particular ones look a little bit Romulan, but yeah, that's definitely that era.
there's a lot of like things in this episode that just feels quite TOS-y or
Yeah, and well, particularly the script goes back to then. That's definitely hints all over the place.
She's like a Squire of Gothos type of, it's just that sort of thing. She tries to make her escape, but the security guards have already been called. Data announces with this that the contract has been dissolved and the arbitration has adjourned. Jared thanks Picard, but Ardra says he would have had more fun if he had lost. Till we meet again, she says to Picard, the captain of the Starship Enterprise. And she leaves whilst laughing. She goes down the corridor. That's the end of the episode. Done.
I thought the way she walked out of there was pretty badass, and also an indication. I'm like, dude, she is not phased about getting arrested by you guys.
No.
Just so you know. Y'all
And
should
later
keep it
on-
that.
And later on, Tenacious D wrote a song about this very incident.
They did?
Don't get it.
Really?
I was referring to the song Tribute, but never mind.
Oh, to the tribute to
I
the
was
best
thinking of
song in the
tribute.
universe.
They wrote a song so good that the devil disappeared.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they did. But the song wasn't the best song in the universe. It's just a
No,
tribute.
that was just a tribute to that song. Yes.
Yeah. They can't remember what that song was. But
I
yeah.
love Tenacious D.
She says till we meet again, and it's kind of left hanging with that, like, you know, but we never see her again.
Well, they are talking about a new female villain a recurring female villain in Picard season 3, and they haven't said who it is. So maybe it is.
Maybe she unfortunately
Probably isn't.
Unfortunately, she died in 2018.
Okay, well that won't do. She doesn't
No.
look that old. She couldn't have been more than 60 or so.
She was young. Yeah, she was young.
Yeah, okay, that's unfortunate.
Sad
Right, well
times.
there goes that theory.
Yeah.
And they do say what's her face? Denise Crosby will be back. But they didn't say she. We know there's gonna be a female villain who's recurring. We know Denise Crosby's gonna be back, but those two dots haven't been connected. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Michael Pillar ultimately approved of this message. No, I mean approved this episode, saying that he thought it was funny and satisfying. It was off for their show, but the origins showed through. Jonathan Frakes said it was like an old Star Trek, ironic, because it's really a Kirk story, so it's kind of 60s-ish. And the other bit of reception information, other than the whole, nomination for the Emmy Award, was that it was the highest rated TNG episode since Encounter at Farpoint. That can't be true.
Really?
Surely not.
It was higher than Best of Both Worlds?
It was
I
higher
mean-
than Measure of a Man. It was
Well,
higher
this
than
is it. This
Offspring.
comes from Captain's Logs, the unauthorized complete Trek Voyages, page 214. Like all other ones in Memory Alpha have some sort of reference, don't they? But that
maybe
doesn't
rated,
sound right to me.
maybe rated in terms of ratings or appeal to a broader audience. But it's definitely it's fine, but it's not the best of Trek. It's
Yeah, I
fairly
mean, it
forgettable.
obviously wasn't the most watched, but maybe like it got the most marks out of 10 because a lot of diehard
Yeah.
original series people at
Oh,
the
that
time
could be it. Yeah.
thought this was like, a bit of a
Also,
throwback to the original series.
the other thing, if you wanted to stage this as a play, you just need, there would only be 2 sets. You could have the bridge and then the Ventaxian throne room or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so yeah, it's not quite a battle show, but quite clearly they didn't have a lot of budget in season 4 because, there's literally one set. They've created one room that sits 4 people in it. That was the budget for the show.
Yes.
Chat is super fun, by the way, but I mean, it would take too long to go through it all, but
No,
that's
as long as they're having
hilarious.
fun.
Hilarious chat going on.
I just saw tentacle
I dip
heads.
in and out, yeah.
Right, well, I just remembered. I just got into my bag of tricks because I've forgotten that I haven't shown a
your
character, Star Trek figure of the day. So who's? And you have to get no points for this, but you have to guess who this
Thank you, John.
who this figure is. Who can get this? Who can get this answer into chat the fastest? Who is this? I'll have to. He'll be blurry as I move him closer because I don't have.
Is that? Oh, gonna say it out loud?
No.
Maybe I'll put myself on. Hang on, I'll put
It's not
myself
soon,
on.
is it?
you
Oh,
go.
maybe it's
If you can see him there. Oh, it's too blurry.
is it McCoy? Oh, Sean got there first.
There he is. It is Dr. McCoy
Oh,
Yeah, from
Sean got
Encounter
there
at Farpoint.
first.
Yeah.
from Encounter at Farpoint.
Yeah.
I love the way.
McCoy.
Yep.
I thought it was Chekhov for some reason.
I love the way he had the bell-bottom trousers, the film era trousers,
Yeah.
even though he was out of uniform. It was
Yeah. You can see the little bell-bottom trousers. I don't know if you can. Yeah.
Can't really pick it up, but I remember from the episode. That's what triggered it.
Yeah.
I love that Ruth bothered with the big M, the little C, the big C, the little OY, being that we're both called McCoy and I didn't even bother.
I know. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, we are McCoys, funnily
You
enough.
got it perfect, Ruth. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
This is the
Stuplum said
third time
bones. That would have been much
Bob.
easier.
Yeah. To be really right, you got to write the little C up in the air with a little line
little
or
line
dot underneath
underneath
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it means from Koi basically, or son of Koi, should I say?
Yeah. Apparently, as well, the little C with the line underneath it, that is an abbreviation. That means an abbreviation, like an apostrophe in between N and T and don't, because Irish like to discern themselves from the Scottish
Scots
spelling.
Gaelic, yeah.
So they removed the A's out of their Macs because they don't want to be associated with the Scottish that they're descended from. So they become little C's rather than McCoy. Yeah.
Back when I could access the iPlayer, because they don't allow international access anymore. One time I randomly clicked into something that was talking about Shinty, because I thought it was in Irish. I was like, that's weird. Why is there something in Irish? But it was actually in Scottish. But I was surprised how much I understood. I was like, Jesus, yeah, they call them two languages. They're not really. It's just, like Jamaican English to like, English is further apart than Irish to Gaelic Scottish. They're more or less the same.
Who's
yeah.
Rip Van Winkle?
What? Are you serious?
Okay, so it's Mackay, and then it became McCoy. I got you. Yeah. So A is an Adon, or Aiden, as you may know. Okay.
Are you serious, Monty?
Yeah, I had no idea. Who's Rip Van Winkle?
You don't know who Rip Van Winkle? Okay.
No.
Story, right?
Maybe it's American.
It's an American thing, is it?
Yeah,
Sean's not American. I mean, Andrew's not American, is he?
He's not for 40 years or something,
he's got
isn't
a
he?
drama degree, so... Rip Van Winkle is a short story by American author Washington published in 1819. Follows Dutch-American villager colonizing America named Rip Van Winkle. He meets mysterious
I
Dutchman.
recognise the name, but I thought it was like an old actor or something. I didn't realise it
No
was a
clue.
story.
No, I didn't know. Haven't read that one.
But he does look a bit like him. Maybe the hair's not quite long enough.
Yeah. There he is. Anyway, so that's the figure for this week. New figure next week. We've already had the announcement of the winner of the quiz. So I better bring up the old spreadsheet and get Andrew's.
We haven't had a Klingon word of the day, although we did learn that the devil's called Feckler.
Oh yeah, we could have Feckler. I mean devil. Yeah.
Although you all keep saying feck, just makes me laugh because
feck. Yeah.
That's the Irish way of saying a slightly more offensive word.
I do think of Father Ted every time I hear Feckler.
which is Star Trek canon, because now the Irish Romulan Laris actually did in an episode when the Romulans came in and killed a load of people. She goes, "Cheeky feckers," in a real Dublin accent, and it's just like, yeah, that's a Romulan expression, cheeky feckers. Yeah.
Wow.
Also, feck is the Irish verb to see, but that doesn't come up too much. But you can say things like feck him, feck me, feck who, and it literally means I see, I saw, they saw. So if you say feck him, it's not like telling them. It means I saw.
I'm hearing it the other way.
Smiler's telling Mickey to go back to where the picture was on the screen of Picard laying his head in flowers, because Chief Sean gets naked at that point.
Hold on, I can do that again. Hold on, 2 seconds.
Mickey's like, "What? Naked? You say?"
Yeah, he can do it again. He can do it again.
I'm after deleting it. Hold on, where did I put it? 2 seconds.
He may not be able to do that again.
Where did I put it? I'm gonna get naked. Where did I put it?
No, I deleted it, thinking I didn't need it again. But here we go.
Okay, so here we go, Andrew, with your new point. Let's put you on 2. So you're now in 3rd place with Maz McBob. So congratulations to you, Andrew.
I'm sharing bronze position with you now, Andrew.
Oh, I'll never get the gold. Stu Plum!
Yeah, I'm still holding on to that gold spot.
You're only one away. I
gotta learn how to say Stu Plum's name like Picard says Khan.
Everybody get your marks out of 10 in chat. Everybody marks out of 10 in chat.
Yeah, put your marks out of 10, and we will.
Oh, I see you haven't got your backdated.
Smiling rainbow.
I thought your guys' homework was you were going to get the backdated scores for the previous
we forgot.
season.
We did forget.
We
I
forgot.
was really tired. I have a small field full of grain.
I also
have to harvest.
I do need your score for the wounded, Maz. last week's episode?
Oh,
I forgot to ask it before you disappeared off the chat. So
yes, I would say I'd go 8.
8.
Mm.
Oh,
I thought it was very good.
well, I was going to say that put it at second, but yes, that's because the last 2 episodes are the only ones that have got Tavi's score.
Yeah.
What was it? Devil's Due, wasn't it? Devil's Due. Yeah, put those scores in chat. Maz and McBob will work out the combined average for the studio audience and Sean, because we haven't given Sean his own column yet. I'm sure it'll come one day, Sean. You never know.
Someone say column?
Column.
Callum.
I was in Dublin one it was like the 22nd or 23rd of December, and I was just walking past Stephen's Green, and yeah, sure enough, there was Colin Meaney walking straight across me. So I was like, "Merry Christmas, Colin." It's like, "Merry Christmas," and I walked on and left him to that. But just Ireland is so small, you can just walk down the street and there's Colin Meaney. How you going?
You can just meet Star Trek alumni everywhere you turn.
Yeah, well, there's only 2 basically. There's
That
and
and Game of Thrones actors.
although actually this is actually yes, I saw your man Joffrey. I saw him coming out of Trinity College one day, gone to Leeson Street. I saw him one day.
There you go. I knew it.
yeah, and he had that big blondie head on him, so it wasn't hard to see him.
Yeah. Right, ready, guys? 3, 2, 1. Pow.
6, 7, 7.
Sean, what's yours?
I don't have a paddle, but I went 7. So
Oh, you went 7.
We're all more or less in the same area.
Yeah, I gave it 7.
Perfectly fine episode.
Perfectly
Data
fine.
was in it. Data had a big
Saw
role.
the
He was the
Mother of
boss.
Dragons in Belfast Airport. Impressive.
Ooh.
Yeah, my
I
sister,
liked her when she played in that movie where she was the caretaker for the guy who was crippled from
Was
a
it 2
motorcycle
6s for
accident.
Maz
I've seen that.
and was it both 6s?
Yeah,
Maz?
my
It
sister
was
actually.
2 7s and a 6. I was the only 6.
You were 6. Tavi was 7. And the audience, have you added
The
up
audience has done 2 7s and 2 6s, so a 6.5. It depends if you want to round.
It's 0.5 will round up, so yeah, we'll go 7 then. So yeah, an average of 6.75, which I think is fair. You know, it does have that kind of, the whole episode have that flavour of TOS. It did seem like an old school episode, but I thought it was quite enjoyable. I certainly like seeing Ardra. As I said, like my 8-year-old crush came out in me a little bit, and
She was tidy.
Yeah. Her from
Is that a way to say she's attractive?
Yeah, she did.
tidy. Yeah, tidy. She's tidy.
I like that.
That's just it.
You can have all the fun ways of talking.
It's generally a way of saying good. Like, you know, you can go to a party and say it's tidy. You know, it's just it doesn't just mean attractive.
Yeah, but like if you can come off
Hi,
quite
Supreme
bored.
Panko.
If you oversay it, if you say, "Oh, she's so this" or "she's so that," it comes off so blah, you know. We just go, "Yeah, she do." You know, you can't be accused of being too boorish or maybe too jockish in American English. You know, by just being a little bit understated.
Yeah. But the combination of her acting in Tales of the Golden Monkey and Deanna from V led sort of 7-year-old me to walk around the playgrounds of primary school looking for my female arch nemesis who was going to try to woo me and stomp me into the ground at the same time.
I'm trying to remember what was the name of your one.
Oh, that's so sad. I guess that probably never happened, right?
I'm trying to
I
remember.
found one or two, actually. I found one or two.
What was the one from Doctor Who? What was her name? Back in the late 80s or early in the 80s. It's gone out of my head.
I can't remember. Do you mean bad person, like anti-hero?
Yeah, female Time Lord. The Rani. Sorry, that's the I was trying to. Or is it Romana? One of those.
Romana, yeah, Romana.
That's it.
Yeah.
She wasn't so much a bad guy. She was just sort of, in that grey area.
No, she was just. She was like a sort of Amazonian type, wasn't she? Or a sort of warrior woman.
I haven't watched all my classic Who, so you'll have to tell me. Fair enough.
I don't watch Doctor Who, sorry.
I have not seen any Doctor Who except for one episode, and I thought it was pretty cool. It was all I remember from it was like humans were different in the future, and so they had this big stand and just skin stretched out like a goat.
Oh yeah, the last
eyes.
human alive, and it was just like a flat
Cassandra, yeah.
piece of skin. Cassandra, that was it.
That's gross.
Yeah, it was just eyes and mouth on a flat piece of skin.
When it's good, it's very, very good, and when it's bad, it's awful. It's just, yeah, and it's been bad for about 6 years now. So, anyway, we have a new Russell T Davies has come back. We'll see if it gets better.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Supreme Panko's here, and his
Hello,
sadly
Supreme
late because
Panko.
he's been adulting and having to do that
Aw.
whole smelly work thing.
That's
No.
annoying. That is annoying.
I haven't won the lottery yet. I always promised that if I did, I would just buy her life.
Oh,
And
I always thought I'd build a runabout.
you got to have
That'd be
goals in life, Sean. You got to have
Yeah,
goals
yeah.
in life.
Think big.
can you imagine the Star Trek street cred you would get if that was like in your yard, just parked where other people would have like that
Well,
vintage
do
cars
you
to
know-
bring out in the summertime? You just
do you
don't
know-
run about. You'd be like, dude.
Do you know that Nostromo from Alien was in a guy's front garden or front driveway for like 20 years? Like they gave it to him at the end of the production, and he just put a tarp over and left it, and there was like raccoons nesting in it and stuff. Like it was really big. It was like the size of a tank. And eventually, someone realized what he had and took it off him. But it sat in his front drive, and they couldn't, he couldn't get into his back because they need a crane. For like 20 years, let raccoons nest in it, and yeah, they just didn't respect props in the old days.
Yeah. I don't
The
know.
amount of stuff they just trashed that would be worth millions now because just people just didn't appreciate it.
Yeah. Tavi, your husband
Could-
thinks that it went downhill after David Tennant. I don't know. I quite like Matt Smith as well. I thought
Yeah,
Matt Smith was
well,
good personally.
Matt Smith was fine, but yeah, definitely, the screws started to turn in Matt Smith's era. Yeah, actually, even started to turn in David Tennant's era to a certain extent. The 4 specials, yeah, not so great.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. So yeah, we got the scores. We'll have to get the scores from Tavi for the other episodes to actually make them up. But yeah, it seems to be we're heading in a downward trajectory from Data's Day by the seems of it. But hopefully there's going to be some good episodes coming up. You're going to ask what's the next episode, don't you? I can tell.
Snooze, I watched ahead.
Eh?
It needs to have more data in it if that trend's going to go up.
What is it?
Data's the whole fulcrum of the entire episode. The next episode.
What did you say is the next one? Sorry, Sean.
Clues.
Clues. Yes, clues.
Clues.
Well, we're about to see
Ah.
the trailer, so
We are
you'll
about
be
to watch the
reminded.
trailer for the next. Yeah.
I won't say much, but Data's in it a lot. The whole story is built around him.
Next one is not only clues, but it will be Ruth's birthday. Are you going to join us, Ruth, next week? I hope so. We will wish you special happy birthday.
We will. There'll be lots of birthday messages in chat. Here we go. Here's the trailer for next week's episode.
A strange accident leads to shocking betrayal.
They are
The key to this
sleepy.
entire mystery, and you have done nothing but block my every attempt to solve it.
Hidden motives
I
hide
like
an
to look at
alien
those
threat.
eyes.
What really happened to us?
I cannot answer that.
Dangerous forces control the fate of the crew.
I looked into the mirror. It wasn't me, Worf.
Take us back to the scene of the crime. This ship must be
This is a good
destroyed.
episode,
Deadly
actually.
secrets
Great
on
episode.
Star
I forgot
Trek,
about this
The Next
episode.
Generation.
Yeah.
And there's Worf getting knocked over by the smallest woman on the ship.
Yeah, again.
It's like he's such a big, strong warrior. And there, Deanna's like throwing him across the room. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, this is a great episode. Oh,
yeah,
I'm excited
it's a bit
about that one.
sort of it's a bit cause and effecty, or
Yeah.
you know.
Why?
I like
Yes,
that one.
it's a great episode, but ultimately we know the twist, so that's the hard part.
Shush!
Yeah,
if you've
I don't
seen it,
care
if you've
because-
seen it, if you've seen. Luckily, if you're
Where
old
is
like
that
me
all
and
effect?
approaching 50, you've forgotten it now. So
Sorry, spoilers for a show that came out 31
Yeah.
years ago.
To be fair, Monty Ban hasn't seen a lot of these episodes in quite a few years, but for me, like I always think about episodes like cause and effect. But
No,
I,
no,
like
Stuplam.
you said, I forgot about this one. Majram Stuplam.
Majram.
like you said, this one I'd forgotten about actually a little bit, so
Yeah.
it's not in the forefront of my mind as some
No,
of the others. So
no.
that's cool. That'd be
cool.
nice. I like
Yeah.
it.
Sean, when you get to like approaching 50 and you've had a few bottles of wine in between when you last saw it as a teenager, it will be like watching it all new all over again. It's great.
Well, like I mean, I've watched this stuff and rewatched it and taped it off the telly and rewatched it and bought episodes. But like even then, there's so much of it now. There's 850 episodes. It's so hard. Like if you don't rewatch it every 2 years, it does drip out of your memory.
It does. Drops off. Yeah.
Unless it's data.
But I have kind of watched the next few episodes of Star Trek Forward, so I'm
Lots
on
of
this one.
data.
But yeah, it's a big data episode. I'm happy to say that.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Big data, yeah. Like
big data, like yeah.
like Hadoop
Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah. We'll start putting a database together.
My face
I'm
is
a
starting
data
to hurt from
management
smiling.
strategist. It's my job. That's actually what I do for a living.
You're all about the data
I'm all about the data.
in a completely different
I
way.
literally, I have badges that I give out to people in the companies that I work with, which says I love data, but it doesn't mean what you think it means.
No.
It's okay. I still accept it. It counts.
She want a badge
My face
now.
hurt from smiling so dang hard.
What I love about my job is I'll tell my boss and I'll be like, yeah, so if everything went exactly perfectly, this will take 3 days. But it'll probably take 5. And then she'll report to her manager and she'll go, it'll take 3 days.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't take 3 days.
You've got to learn from Scotty.
Yeah, yeah. Don't
Whatever
report
you
what
think
it'll
it's
actually
gonna
take
add
you.
a bit in.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, if everything goes perfectly, it'll be 3 days, but it'll probably be 5. They go, yeah. So I talked to them. It'll take 3 days. No.
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh well, the other Sean went out sick for 2 days. I hadn't planned on that. Like, what do you want from me?
Chief Sean, you're never going to get your reputation as a miracle worker.
No, I'll never be an officer.
Yeah,
I don't think.
yeah.
No.
Got to, yeah.
Picard maneuver is a thing, by the way. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this episode. I'd like to thank Mazabit Bob, Tabby Kins Turner, and Chief Sean. It's just because.
Sorry, I'm laughing about big data. Anyway.
Yeah, I got
Fully
tripped
functional
up.
big data.
People getting all kinds of excited about the idea of big data.
There's all sorts of fans of big data in the chat. You're not alone, Tabby.
I'm not going there. I'm not bringing the stream down. We're nearly there. We're nearly at the end. I've nearly crossed the line.
Don't worry. I've already brought it down. It's fine.
Yeah. Thank you to Ruth for coming in and playing our games. Stu Plum, Andrew, well done. Congratulations on your second win and getting 3rd place for this season. You never know. You could still get that season win if you stick with it. Hello to Supreme Panko, see you coming late in the day, and Mickey for dropping by. Thank you, Mickey. We hopefully will see you guys all next Wednesday for Clues, and we'll see you then. Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.